àníṣe mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ máa bá wa pín gbogbo platform náà ni a ti wà live ó kù díẹ̀ mo kí bàbá wa mo kí ẹ̀yin ìyá wa mo kí Mr. Peter Pan mo kí àwọn Biafra mo kí bàbá wa Dékúnlé Ògún mo kí ṣé bàbá wa ní Olúyínká Oyèníyì ẹni carry on the last man standing I love what you are doing for the struggle ẹ ṣé gan ni mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń gbé wa lẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń fi oríṣiríṣi mẹ́wàá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílé ẹni bá kàn ló mọ̀ ni kọ́lọ́ọ̀bẹ Elédùmarè kó má jẹ́ kí n tó dà kó kàn wá. Asat November inflation Nigeria ó lọ sókè rẹpẹtẹ ni tó ń ṣe kékeré ní gbogbo àgbáyé náà ní o àmọ́ ti Nigeria ó ti wọ galloping 18 years high on the surging food price kí ló ń fà tí oúnjẹ ṣe wọ́n tí èèyàn ti wà nínú ilé táwọn èèyàn oúnjẹ jẹ tó ń sunkún ẹja gbọ́ tí ọmọdé yẹ mọ lẹ́yìn yẹn à play anthem wa fàájì náà kúkú náà ni bọ̀ a máa ń kọ́ra wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó pọ̀ ẹ má kánjú ẹ bá ti wọnú program ẹ̀yin ẹ má kánjú ẹja máa jọ ṣe ní díẹ̀díẹ̀ èmi náà ń pín ẹ̀yin náà bá wa pín mò ń bọ̀ mọ̀ tí ì dé.
ọjọ́ òní ọjọ́ tó lápẹ̀rẹ̀ gidi gan-an ni fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá dàda kó o rí ní ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ọba ti kú ọ̀tá ìbáyọ̀ wọn ní alákọ̀ọ́rí ọmọ ti lọ wò ó èyí tí wọ́n ròyìn yẹ̀ tolúwọ́ ọba ń ló kúkú sẹ́ Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣàṣẹ́bẹ̀ lọ wà ọ̀gá máa dúpẹ́ Olódùmarè ọba òkúri tó ọba ti àtúwò rẹ̀ kọ́jú òní ó tó pé pọ́ kí lọ fẹ́ wá láàrin àwọn ọmọ adarí mú gan tàbí tó ọba ti tàbí kí ọmọ láàrin ìgbẹ́ kí lọ máa ṣe dá òfin ìrọ ọjọ́ máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ alágbẹ̀dẹ àyànmọ́ ọba tó fi ọ́ dára tó dùn ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o ìwọ náà kọ́ Olódùmarè ọba ní kí ọlá lùgẹ́ Sunday o jáwé máa gbọ́ ó ti gbogbo ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o ó dé wọn mọ́lẹ̀ pákápáká wọn ò lè mí mọ́ ó ti ẹja fọ kí ni bẹ nínú ọ̀gán ọmọdé yẹn mo ti dún mọ̀wúrú bí ọ̀pá ní kọ́ pani bí ọ̀bá ní pani kó yé dún mọ̀wúrú Sunday ọmọdé yẹn kù ó ti di bí àlọ́ yìí yé ẹjẹ ọmọdé wọn mú ewé kókò tó bá lè bí ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ fọ̀yà kó máa fọ̀yà gbèrègbèrè sàǹgbà ọ̀rọ̀ máa fọ́ kù ẹni bá wọ pé ọmọdé yẹn mo ti di bí àlọ́ yìí káṣẹ̀ wo ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ìgbó òòṣà yé orí ìlà pé ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà ọmọ ọkọ̀ ní ọ̀hún ṣéun bẹ́ẹ̀ lọmọ bọ́ọ̀sì ìwọ lọ́pàá gàmbàrí nípa ìsìn Sunday ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ọ̀pá gàmbàrí nípa ìsìn ọ̀pá ọ̀ya oníjọ ọmọ ẹ̀kọ́ wà Sunday kò wò sá pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá rẹ lọ òrò ọmọ kẹlá mo lẹ́nilé mo sùn lẹ́ẹ̀kan ọmọ ajá yẹn jẹ́ sílẹ̀ àwọn bàbá rẹ mo dé bọ́dà àárín òde wọ́n di méjì bá rẹ̀ ta àwọn di méjì bá rẹ̀ àgàdà yín ó di méjì bá rẹ̀ gbẹ̀dínlógún ó kan ilà àárọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní gbogbo ilé ìbọn àgàdà nínú bí àwọn rẹ̀ ọmọ gbẹ́tọ̀ ọlọ́kọ̀ ilé ní sọ́wọ́ àkọ́níṣẹ́ ọlọ́kọ̀ ilé ní ìgbàlẹ̀kẹ̀ ọmọ adéyẹmọ Sunday ògbó sàmà ogun ní nánilógún ogun ló ní ilé àárọ̀ ogun ni wọ́n fi jagun dẹ́gbẹ́jẹ́gbẹ́ ogun wọ̀nyí ẹjẹ́ anẹ́tàwọ́ lóògùn ọ̀nà Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ọ̀sà lónìí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbòmìnira dandan ni máa wá gbọ́ o àṣẹ ìlànà lọ́dúnmọ́lẹ̀ ni ọmọ ìlú ọmọ adéyẹmọ o dákun mọ́lẹ̀ làwọn oníṣẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ kálukú mọ̀ fi dùn wọ́n orí kálukú ló kúrò dépò tó dùn wá máa gbọ́ o gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tàtà ẹ̀ ń tẹ́wá lóye ẹja fọwọ́pọ̀ ká fi ẹni tó lọ́wọ́ fi sẹ́ ká gbé lárugẹ gidi ni ẹni méjì wọ̀ wọn ò dùn ẹjọ́ òrodò lọ sí ibà méjì kọ́ o ẹni tó lọ́wọ́ fi sẹ́rán ọ̀gàtọ̀ sí ẹni tó fara wọn Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ tiwa akọni tiwa akọni jagunjagun ọkùnrin tararara gbọ́dọ̀ ọmọ adéyẹmọ wọn máa gbọ́ wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ àkàn fún wọn ni ẹni tó bá ní kó òkú ní kékeré kó máa fọwọ́ ara wọn síra wọn wọ́n ní kàkọ́ máa ṣe ara rẹ̀ kúkú dànù ayé tọ̀ ní kúlọ́wọ́ ọmọ gbá kékeré tó kékeré ìdáhọ́ inú ọmọ gbẹ̀yà gbẹ̀dẹ́ òsì bàtàrí òní kúrú òdòkó tẹ̀ máa gbọ́ àwọn bàbá rẹ tó ti wà níbùgbé ìdájọ́ wọn àmọ́ fọwọ́ tí ó gẹ́gẹ́ ni àwọn alágbára jagun tí wọ́n ní jagun ṣáájú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọn àmọ́ fọwọ́ tí ó gẹ́gẹ́ ni Oòduà mọ́lọ́fin ọba kẹlá bàtàrí wọn àjàká àjàngẹ́tìẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹ̀fọ́fọ̀ lẹ́yìn lánàfọ́kúnná òun lẹ̀ lẹ́rù ọmọdé kò ní sábà àbọ̀lélá àbọ̀lé kòkó alùpùpù àbá ògèdè pé ẹgbẹ́gbùngbùrù lẹ̀ jẹ́ sàgbó máa gbọ́dọ̀ sẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ń bọ́ sàgbó tí mọ́ ògùn làyà wáyé náà ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ Ìgbòho sàǹbolo sí pẹ̀tùpẹ̀tù tiẹ̀ ṣe ọ̀gbárùgbọ̀ lárúgbó lọ́nù gbọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ jó ògùn làyà ọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀yìn rí kẹ́ni ọmọ ń dè bàbá rẹ lọ òrùkàtàrí gbàgbà kẹ́ni ọmọ ń dè bàbá rẹ lọ alárúgbó parúmọ́ Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ ní oṣù olùkọ́ ní gbangba Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ ó ti di gbogbo ọdún ó ti wà lókè ẹ̀ ní abáyọ̀ ọjà lọ́kọ́ máa kú ni máa gbọ́ o tó orí má bẹ̀rù ọ̀tẹ̀ mọ́ orí ní gbogbo fúrufúru labalábá tí wọ́n ń dìbò lẹ́kùn Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ọ̀sà orí bí wọ́n ti ń wọṣọ àkísà máa gbọ́ o yẹ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà wọn lóye àkọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́ ọmọ adéyẹmọ ní ẹja àfọwọ́tì yìí débi tó lágbẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹja àfọ tẹ́lẹ̀ èmi tún bẹ́ẹ̀wọ̀ òdù mi kò lè gbé wa dédé kankan pa àkọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́ ẹja àfọwọ́ yẹ ìtọ́gbọ́ ọ̀fíìsẹ́ ńlá rúbẹ́ni ẹ máa gbọ́ oyin bó yẹn ṣe wọ́n máa fẹ́ràn oyin ní igi igbó sórí ipò wọ́n dìgbẹ́ ẹ̀rí ni àwọn àgbàlagbà wọ́n ní bí orí bá dúró tọrùn inú déyìn ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ gan ni Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ yẹ máa bá ọjọ́ òní ọjọ́ burúkú tó lágbẹ̀rẹ̀ ni ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tí wọ́n ṣerú ẹ̀ wọn ò lè mú jẹ́ má ṣe pé ṣùgbọ́n nu rẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan ọba tó pátápátá bọ̀ ìmọ̀lẹ̀ thank you àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ gbogbo.
Tẹ̀síwájú, ọ̀pọ̀ ire, àfọ̀mọ́.
mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ tí ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní gbogbo ibi tí ẹ wà. Mo níṣẹ́ tí ẹ bá fẹ́ wọ orú nǹkan tèmi náà wọ̀ yìí, tí ẹ fẹ́ look very good, tẹ́yin náà fẹ́ máa look sharp sharp, tẹ́yin náà fẹ́ dàbí ìgbà tí ẹ bá jáde tọ́mọ máa ní ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà, ẹ wá lọ sórí Omitaf Culture. Àwọn ní bespoke tailoring, wọ́n rán aṣọ ẹbí, wọ́n rán wà ń bẹ̀, wọ́n rán tọmọdé, kódà wọ́n ń ṣe fashion training fún ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá fẹ́ jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ yín, àwọn sisi tó wà nílé, tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe kí ni, tí wọ́n fẹ́ kọ́ṣẹ́ tailoring. Tẹ́ bá wá lọ sórí péjì wọn, oríṣiríṣi lẹ máa bá níbẹ̀, oríṣiríṣi àwọn aṣọ tó dáa tó yẹ pé ẹ̀yin náà lè look like this. Ẹ rántí gbogbo àwọn nice shirt a máa fi ń wọ̀nyí yẹn, ó pọ̀ níbẹ̀ oríṣiríṣi lọ́ní. Tẹ́yin bá ṣáà ti lọ síbẹ̀, wá fún yín ní irú nǹkan tẹ́yin náà máa lè máa wọ̀ l'Amẹ́ríkà, ní Australia, ní Canada. Ẹ̀rí lára ilé tí wọ́n ṣe náà lélẹ̀, ó pọ̀ níbẹ̀ o. Oríṣiríṣi ni wọ́n ní. Ẹ̀yẹn ṣá lọ sórí péjì wọn lórí Instagram, ẹ bá ń bẹ̀, ó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. Tẹ́ bá wá ń fẹ́ nọ́mbà wọn, ẹ mú pen kẹ́kọ́ sílẹ̀, +234 81 38 52 85 88. Àwọn ọ̀dẹ́ ń disappoint èèyàn, torí pé ìtàbá lè fògùn ẹ̀gbà rí, kò ń ṣe gbogbo ní tó wà Nàìjíríà nìyẹn lè fògùn ẹ̀gbà rí. Mo kí gbogbo àti ẹ ti ṣe ń wọlé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí nọ́mbà yẹn, òun náà ni +234 81 38 52 85 88. Kò sí ní tẹ́fẹ́, ẹ bá níbẹ̀. Gbogbo àwọn aṣọ tèmi náà máa wọ̀ tí máa fi ń look good yẹn, ẹ bá wọn níbẹ̀. Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí tí ẹ káàbọ̀ lórí ètò tòru èní. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti wọlé àtàwọn tó máa wá padà tún wò, torí kò sí program tá a bá ṣe, kò ṣe gbogbo èèyàn náà ló máa ń láǹfààní àti wò ní live. Aago 3:00 ti lù nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tí a mọ̀ sí contraction country Nigeria, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni aago 2:30 ṣẹ̀lù lọ́dọ̀ tiwa. Èwo la tún fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lálẹ́ yìí? Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, transistor radio tí a ti ń polongo pó ń bọ̀ ó ti dé báyìí. Please work more on the professor issues. Which issue lẹ́ ń sọ kò yé mi o. Any professor issue? Which of the professor? Ṣé bàbá Kítóyè àbí professor o, àbí ti bàbá wa tó lọ́lé tí wọ́n gbéwó lọ sílé níbi tí ilé ayé dé nísìn tá à ń pariwo pé kò sí security Nàìjíríà? Professor Moyo Okedeji tó lọ sí Nàìjíríà, tọ́lọ́wọ́n ọba Elédùmarè ò jẹ́ kó pa wọ́n sọ̀hún. Nǹkan mi là bá máa sọ nísìn, àbí professor wo lẹ́ ń sọ? Ẹ bá mi ṣàlàyé dáadáa. Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o pé a ti káàbọ̀ sórí ètò tiwantiwa. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, mo kí ìyá wa Felicia Àjàgbé, mo kí Metia_Yemi. àìtí start Instagram wa, ó máa wọlé láìpẹ́ kù díẹ̀. Gbogbo platform náà la máa connect sí ní ọ̀tún lósì, torí gbogbo èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ pé our on. Self-determination. What is the difference between self-determination àti Yorùbá nation? Kí ni ìyàtọ̀? Ìsáyàn bá sọ fún yín pé wọ́n ń ṣe self-determination campaign ní ọ̀dọ̀ Koiki àtàwọn mídíà tó kù. Tẹ́ bá gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, kí ló mean sẹ́yìn? Kí ni ìyàtọ̀? Kí ni self-determination? What does it mean? Ó wà lára tí mo fẹ́ sọ ní èní, torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn wọ́n mix ọ̀rọ̀ self determination yẹn wọ́n mix ẹ̀ up, wọ́n ń jẹ́ kó yé wa pé kí lẹ̀ ń ṣe gan Koiki, ṣé kò ń ṣe pé ẹ ti ń da gbogbo ẹ̀ papọ̀ mọ́ra wọn, torí pé tẹ́yìn èèyàn bá comment tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá ń send message sí wa ànímọ̀. Ó wà lára ìdí tí a fẹ́ ṣe ti ètò talẹ́ yìí náà. So mo tún bi wá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i, kí ni à ń pè ní self determination, àti pé kí ni difference between self determination àti Yorùbá nation. Ẹ bá mi fi sí comment ní bó bá ṣe yé ẹ̀yin sí, àti pé kí nìdí tí mo ṣe sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Mò ń bọ̀, mo ti dé. Kí ló dé tí Nàìjíríà inflation tó ń lọ sókè rẹpẹtẹ? Kí ló fà á? Kí ni díẹ̀? Ṣé torí pé a ní production tó pọ̀ nínú Nàìjíríà, àti pé some other factors? Because for the last 63 years of the failed country tó ń pè Nàìjíríà, tó lúkàlùkù kàn parọ́ fúnra wọn, we have never been one and we can never be one. So caricature government, ìwọ náà ṣá lọ try tiẹ̀, tó bá ti gbìyànjú ibi tó bá ṣe dé ta padà fáwa. Ṣé àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò, ṣé ó likely pé wọ́n máa fi wọ́n ṣe president Nàìjíríà bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ yìí, nígbà tí Tinubu nísìn tó ti ní kí bàbá wa Àwùjalẹ̀ kábíyèsí kó fi jẹ ọba gbọ́ba níyì of Ìjẹ̀bú-land? Gbogbo wa náà láti rí images yẹn. Kò sí pọ̀ tó kúnkún bọ̀ láyé tó jẹ́ bàbàrà mọ́ nísìn, nígbà táwọn ọba náà ti ṣe kíni tó ti ní Àwùjalẹ̀ ní kí ló bá dé níbẹ̀, tá bá fi ọmọ Fúlàní tá bá fi joyè ní orílẹ̀-èdè wa. Wọ́n ní kò sí nǹkan kan tó bá dé níbẹ̀. Kódà gbogbo àwọn èèyàn ti respond sí that particular incident, but is it going to make any difference? Ṣàkọ máa sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn bó dẹ̀ ṣe máa lọ nìyẹn, àbí ìyàtọ̀ máa wà? Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà la máa mọ̀. Mo kí Yàmí Elizabeth Adesanya, ẹ káàárọ̀ mà. Mo kí Prince Adékúnlé, ẹ káàbọ̀. Mo kí Ìjáyà. Mo kí bàbá mi Kúnlé Ṣítà. Àwọn ni wọ́n bá mi ṣe printing ní ọ́fíìsì wọn nígbà tá a kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation. Kódà àwọn kan ní Yorùbá nation pé opportunist ni fáwọn kan. Wọ́n ní probability wà, kò sí nǹkan tí kò sí opportunist fún. Àwa la máa wá mọ ibi tí a fẹ́ máa ṣe wàhálà lé lórí. Torí nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́, a bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìṣọ̀kan, bọ̀ láàrin méjì ẹ̀ olúkálukú. Mo ń bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ Alan Conde. I think I am fully set on all the platforms. Saheed Balogun, mo kẹ́yìn ti Ìgàràwó. Mo kí bàbá wa Ọbánlá Ọlálẹ́yẹ Paul. Gani Olóyèdé, káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Ibi báyìí ni lecture room. Ibi báyìí ò ń ṣe ọ̀dọ̀ ṣẹpẹ̀tẹ́rì, ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn sisters wa tí wọ́n ń gbà sí fúnra wọn. Ibi báyìí ni wọ́n pè ní Yorùbá Nation Campaign Media. Media làwa. Èyí tó bá dẹ̀ yéèyàn ẹ máa béèrè. Ìtawà náà bá mọ̀, à gbé lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n wá bá wa ṣàlàyé ẹ̀. Ṣé ti pín ètò yìí lọ́dọ̀ yín, àbí ẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ̀ pín rárá? Tẹ́yìn ò bá ti pín, èmi náà ṣì ń pín ni. Ẹ ṣì ní few minutes. Kánjú. Ẹni bá ń pọ́njú, ẹ lè lọ kẹ́ wá padà wá tá bá ti ṣe tán, kẹ́ download ẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà labroad, ẹ̀yin ò ní láti download. Internet ọ̀fẹ́ ni lẹ́yìn ní. Not literally pé ọ̀fẹ́, but at least ó ṣì wà cheaper than ẹni tó wà ní Nàìjíríà. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìyá mi kan, dígbà tí wọ́n gbọ́ message tí mo ṣe pé ọ̀tẹ̀ tí bí àwòrán tí ni wọ́n ti send owó náà, bọ̀ èmi gan ọ̀tẹ̀ tí ráyè ṣe data fún máà nìyẹn. Mo promise pé lágbára Ọlọ́run tí bá parí program yìí, ẹ̀rọ pé mo ṣe ní náírà kékeré kan, màá send ẹ̀ sí wọn sínú ẹ̀. Glo ni wọ́n náà máa send 2005 kí bàbá yẹn lè láǹfààní àti wo program tí máa ṣe títí the end of December. À ń ṣe give away ní bíbáyìí o, but ó dà pé Bishop Adesina náà fẹ́ fún àwọn mẹ́wàá kan ní bóyá rúbà equivalent to 7,000 naira. Wọ́n máa ṣàlàyé fún mi bó ṣe fẹ́ ṣe tó máa fi di ìmúṣẹ before the Christmas, but wàá ṣí rúbà account. Gbogbo àná láti rí picture bàbá wa Awùjalẹ̀ àti Boko Haram terrorist tó ń pè ní El-Rufai, Malam El-Rufai. Mo máa change image mi lẹ́yìn èyí tá a lò láàárọ̀ àgbọ̀dọ̀ tó lè yẹn mọ́ nígbà tá a ti rí kábíyèsí tí wọ́n ti rán aṣọ fún àwọn Boko Haram El-Rufai. So gbogbo ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn náà ló ti ṣe program lé lórí. I'm not gonna touch much on that, but a ṣì sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. So tẹ bá ti ń darapọ̀ báyìí, mo kíyà mi beauty àmọ̀ pé underscore ẹ káàbọ̀ mà, ẹ bá wa máa pín, ẹ like Aziz Karim, mo kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe. Ó dà ń pè mí náà kù díẹ̀, so àwọn tó kù náà mo fẹ́ pín nísìn. Ṣé Yorùbá nation ṣé business ni, ṣé business center ni, ṣàfihàn ṣe business ni? Àwọn kan wọ́n agree pé Koiki olè ní gbogbo yín, ẹ lọ jókòó síbi kan jọ. Yorùbá nation tẹ́ ń ṣe yẹn ẹ fi ń jalè ni. Yorùbá nation tí gbogbo yín ṣe yẹn ẹ fi ń ṣe díìsì ni. Àwọn kan tẹ̀ tí wọ́n sọ pé kí ló dé tá a fi ṣe business? Business làwa máa ṣe o, business làwa fi ṣe, àwa ò ṣe gbogbo ràkàtí àtẹ̀ ń ṣe. Mo kí Allen Conde, mo kí àwọn tèmi lórí Mixlr. Bá máa kí lọ tá a bá ṣe ń ṣètò yẹn. Mo kí Kúnlé Bakers, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń fi ìrànlọ́wọ́ sí wa. Ṣé torí tá a bá ti wá sórí program tá a ní ẹ support wa làwọn kan ṣe sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ pé ó lè ní gbogbo yín jọ, ó lè ní gbogbo yín, ó lè ní gbogbo yín. Ẹ wò mí dáadáa, ẹ jẹ́ n bọ́ glasses mi torí ó lè máa deceive yín. Ẹ wo èmi dáadáa, ẹ wò mí dáadáa. Gbogbo ẹni mo lè fi sọ níbi tí mo jókòó sí. Foresight tí àwa ṣe ń rí nísìn pé Nàìjíríà ò dáa. Foresight yẹn tí àwọn kan ṣe rí ni o. In the 90s ni mo sì tèmi ti rí. Mo láǹfààní àti lọ sọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ sí mi lánàá, and I spend few hours with her like I do every weekend. Sọ̀rọ̀ oríṣiríṣi ìyàtọ̀ mọ́, it's not for public consumption. Fún mi ní àmì gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyá, àwọn advice, ìbáyìí ṣe báyìí, má ṣe ilé ní ká ṣe, ọdún bọ̀ kankan. In the 90s ni mo sì mi ti rí problem Nigeria tó ti sá kúrò. Mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ pé ó take a decision yẹn torí irú ìjọba yìí ó fi dá fún rèmi láti fi ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ ni. Tẹ́ bá ní wọ́n fi Yorùbá nation ṣe business, oh yes, a fi ń ṣe business náà ni. A fi ń ṣe business ni. Ẹ mọ̀ pé business náà ni mo sì mi ṣe. So business yẹn náà làwọn fi ń ṣe Yorùbá nation títí di wákàtí. Mo máa play audio yẹn kan tó fi ránṣẹ́ sí mi. Audio méjì la máa play lálẹ́. Mo fẹ́ ká settle down. Mo rí pé àwọn èèyàn ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí TikTok. Àwọn èèyàn darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ẹni tó wà gbọ́ ní live ẹ máa gbọ́ láàárọ̀. Ó ṣeé ṣe kí ẹni tó fi audio yẹn gan ránṣẹ́ káwọn náà gbọ́ program yìí. Ẹ má kó gbogbo àpapọ̀. Ọláyọmí Koiki lèmi o. Ẹ má kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ mọ́rógà. Ibi tí èèyàn bá ti ń ṣe nìyẹn ti ń jẹ àtayébáyé nìyẹn, má kọjá jẹ́ pa ni. Ẹ lè níbi ṣe jókòó síbí tèmi náà ń ṣàìsùn, tèmi náà ń polongo Yorùbá nation campaign. Ẹ ṣe báyìí, ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe báyìí, ẹ má yẹ ká lo eléyìí ò dáa, kò jẹ́ ká ṣe báyìí. Wọ́n níbi tí èèyàn bá ti ń ṣe ló ti ń jẹ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, èmi ò ní jẹ́ kó yẹ pé ibi tí mo ti ń ṣe mo ò ní jẹ́ ń bẹ̀. Àmọ́ àwa ò ní jàjẹ́pà. Ẹ̀rí á dẹ̀ wà pé intá ń ṣe landmark ẹ̀ máa wà. I don't have to give accolade to myself. Jọ àìtí débi tá ń lọ, a ṣe ń campaign ni. àwọn ọmọ ìgboro ti dé láti club táwọn náà bá ti dé tá a bá fẹ́ dàdúgbò níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn akọ jù bọ́ọ̀lù sókè ni akọ tó wọn rántí pé ní bọ́wùdẹ ló wà nígbà tó bá lọ sókè ìwèrè kan lè lọ dé kó lọ fọ́ gíláàsì mọ́tò ẹ̀ ọ̀yà já wálẹ̀ bọ̀ tó bá wà ládùúgbò míì wàá ju sókè èmi dẹ̀ máa ń láìkì àwọn reggae àwọn bashment wàá ju sókè àbá ń bọ̀ láti club àmọ́ á láòdẹ̀ gbàgbàgbàgbàgbà tọ́lọ́pàá bá dẹ dúró tọkùn ìbalẹ̀ pọ̀ ní license tó dẹ̀ ní right láti wà nílùú tó ń ṣe dìgò wàá park officer what happen ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀fẹ̀ nìyẹn. ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa ẹ̀yẹ ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tẹ́ ń gbọ́ program ó dà ń pé ẹ̀ ń ṣì wá gbọ́ ó dà ń pé fẹ́ máa kó wa mọ́ àwọn kan tí wọ́n rí Yorùbá nation as an opportunist èmi ò rí Yorùbá nation as an opportunist o ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa mo ní fẹ́ ẹ̀yìn mi wọ̀n mi tó bá máa sílẹ̀ bá máa fi mọ́ ẹ̀ màá show yín ní picture jollof rice pọ́ọ̀tì ńlá ni ìyàwó mi ti ṣe gbogbo prep ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ tó bá máa fi jí láàárọ̀ ó pẹ́ jù aago 6 ó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí dáná tí òun ráìsì máa dún nínú ilé ìtàtàtà ìtọ́ dè mọ́lẹ̀ ń bíbà ó dà pé puff puff la máa dín láàárọ̀ la ẹ má fi gbogbo wa ẹ má kọ amọ́rógà o wọ́n fi Yorùbá nation wọ́n fi ń ṣe opportunist ni èmi ò máa wọ́n tẹ̀ ń sọ yẹn o I don't know who you are addressing but please on this my platform called Koikimedia do not address me as an opportunist for this project. Because project like Bidani, oh yes, in the project I have the right to be looked after. Benny, in this project, responsibility tẹ̀yìn òní pé kẹ́yìn náà look after tiwa. Kò dẹ́n ṣe gbogbo ìlú kókó máa look after wa. But it's the responsibility. Àìmọye tó ti ń gbọ́ program wọn in the last 3 years tó fún wa lówó ẹlòmíì ò ṣàdúrà fún wa ẹlòmíì ò comment ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ care so but àwọn tó care yẹn wọ́n rí pé sáfíìsì kan làwa náà ṣe for humanity ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ ń give service in humanity give and take ìdílé ayé àwọn kan máa ní ẹgbà lọ́hùn yẹn ẹ má bínú àní àmọ́ wá fi ohùn sílẹ̀ tó máa ṣe dáadáa ẹ jájọ gbọ́ díò yìí bí ẹ̀mí ni kò yé ni bí atáyàn ọlọ́pọlọ bá jọ gbọ́ ayé gbogbo wa mo ń béèrè lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo ní kí ni ìyàtọ̀ láàrin Yorùbá nation àti self determination ká kọ́kọ́ clear àárín yẹn dáadáa mo kí grandma Comfort Adélẹ́yẹ mo kí ìyá mi tó nípẹ́ ṣe jọ́ọ̀bí wọn ìwé next week lágbọ́rọ̀ Ọlọ́run náà ni àwọn tó lọ jẹ rice jẹ dáadáa yàrá lùbáríkà àṣà ti ní ayé tá à ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation a lè ṣe máa láyé táwọn máa ṣe even after tí mo bí reason tí glasses ṣe ń dọ̀tí báyìí àbọ̀rọ̀ mo yẹ nísìn kí ni ìyàtọ̀ self determination ẹ̀wọ̀n tá a bá ń pariwo self ẹlòmíì ẹ ti káàkiri ẹ ti lọ waste time yín pẹ̀lú àwọn jagbajantis ẹ wá rò pé tẹ bá ti wá dẹ́dọ̀ tiwa ìkan náà ní gbogbo wa à ń ṣe kan náà Yorùbá lè máa pariwo Yorùbá nation mo sọ fún yín I am well read at least and I am well sound ẹ ní láti sọ fún mi I know that myself bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sọ fún mi gan ìyá tó bí mi sọ fún mi pé mo sound ibi tó dẹ̀ kù sí ó ń ṣàlàyé fún mi mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe amendment lé lórí. What is the difference between self-determination and Yorùbá nation? What is the difference? Kí ni ìyàtọ̀? Kentos Abẹ́bí èèyàn ti Koikimedia kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ àǹtí mi dáadáa gbogbo Manchester ọlọ́run bẹ̀rẹ̀ lẹ́dùn mọ̀rẹ́ bá ń dúró tí ẹ bá ń kí wọn kú mi dáadáa pọ́kù tọ́jú yín ṣe ìwọ bá ti ń tọ́jú yín ẹ̀ ń tọ́jú èmi náà ṣe gan ni. What is the difference? Kí ni ìyàtọ̀ self-determination àti Yorùbá nation? Ẹ jẹ́ àwọn talent kan dè sọ Only difference between self-determination and Yoruba nation is without freedom we cannot control our land. Àwọn kan ṣe wá ti ń sọ fún wa pé ó yẹ ká ti máa ṣe business nínú Yoruba nation. Mo ní Yoruba nation ni wo ṣá ti gba country ni àì ti gba country now. Moreover, as we are all asking for our right to self-determination, ẹlòmíì ò tí ka 35-page manual script tí bàbá kí tó yẹ kọ. Ẹni tó kàrú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ báwo ló ṣe fi ní understanding nǹkan tàgbé dání. It took me 2 hours lórí ìjókòó yìí. Omi fẹ́ lè máa bọ́ lójú mi. Mo kà débi pé iṣẹ́ tẹ̀yìn ni pé kẹ́ lọ wá fídíò yẹn kẹ́ wá gbọ́. Èmi ti bá yín ṣe ní audio, but some of us are just lazy. Ẹ ti gbọ́ Yorùbá nation tó ń ṣe níbẹ̀ yẹn, ẹ ti gbọ́ lọ́hùn, ẹ ti gbọ́ lọ́hùn, ẹ wá fẹ́ kó gbogbo amórógà. Mo bẹ̀ yín ni. Kí ló ń pè ní self-determination? Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wo according to dictionary. Nation, gbogbo alátimọ̀ tó ń pè ní nation. Àwọn tó ń jẹ́ ẹ̀yà kan náà, tó ní ìwà kan náà, tó dẹ̀ ní geographical location tiwọn or territory tiwọn. But what is the meaning of self-determination gangan? Because àwọn kan ní ẹ ń pè Yorùbá nation, ẹ tún pè self-determination. Èwo gan ni méjèèjì? Kí ni méjèèjì? Kí ni méjèèjì tẹ́ ń ṣe yìí? Self-determination denotes, denotes, denotes the legal right of people. Àwa ni people èèyàn, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ló ń pè ní people or àwọn ẹlòmíì náà bẹ́ẹ̀. To decide their own destiny in the international order. Ẹ tún gbọ́ lẹ́ǹkan sí. Self-determination denotes, mo kẹ́gbọ́n mi Yẹmí Benson, ìyàwó ayé tí lọ, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìtẹ́ ìwọlé, ẹ máa bá wa pín. Tẹ́lẹ̀ mo ń fẹ́ máa sọ, but máa rí i pé ó dáhùn pé tá a bá ń sọ lórí platform tiwa, kò má rò pé èèyàn gbéraga. Ẹ pín ètò yẹn, ẹ jẹ́ kó kárí ilé. Self-determination tá à ń pariwo ẹ̀. À ń pariwo self-determination yẹn láti reach destination kan, láti fi achieve nǹkan kan. Àìtí gba Yorùbá nation. I've said it. If anybody is offering pé àwọn ti gba country àti àmà gbogbo yẹn nonsense ni. Gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ. But wọ́ọ̀ a lè máa challenge ẹni tí tó ní skoin lórí. Ìyá tó ní skoin lórí yẹn a lè máa challenge because ó ní skoin lórí ó yàtọ̀ sí ọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́pọlọ, ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n. Because tabana ti gba country, ó ná àwọn process tẹ́tí máa ṣe tí country yẹn máa fi máa reflect ìwọ àtèmi. The first thing ni pé a lè ní àti wà nínú Yorùbá nation country tí a ti take the whole territory yẹn in our possession. Ìyẹn ṣe country ẹ ti gba country nìyẹn. You must be able to defend that country and you must be able to start operation on that country. Ìdí tí a ṣe láǹfààní àti operate ilẹ̀ Yorùbá during the regional government was because that was the arrangement in the United Kingdom. That was the arrangement, the full arrangement that says that as the country is returned back to the people that owns it, you will go and defend, protect, and do laws within your own region to make sure it has impact in the lives of your people. That was the arrangement from UK during what we called the regional government. ẹ dẹ̀ rí pé in that regional government baba lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ had his own cabinet, his own system set up, just as the eastern region and the northern region, until all that was pulled down. So what are we now fighting for? What are we fighting for? What are we now asking for? What are we saying that we need? Because many people today, ẹ má bínú, mo realize pé emblem mi ti gbowó tí máa ń gbé sára kò tí wà ní ara mi. Èmi náà wo kámẹ́rà ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ rán mi létí pé Koiki ó fi Ìgbòho sáyà ní àwọn pé mo ní mo ṣe jí ni mo dẹ̀ set up while I was coming live náà ni so à ń ṣe lẹ́yìn kankan ni so that pé mi ní bàbá Yorùbá so jẹ́ fẹ́lẹ́ báyìí so that ẹni tó bá ń wo program mi wọ́n ní kó mi mọ́ Aṣíwájú Tinubu. Àwọn tó jẹ́ ọmọ Tinubu gan báyìí nísìnyí ogun ló ti ń complain à ń bọ̀ lórí economy Nàìjíríà. Jẹ́wọ́ ṣá ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ gbèsáyà orúkọ ẹ la fi ń jẹun torúkọ dádì tiẹ̀ náà bá da mú jáde ká máa fi jẹun orúkọ Ìgbòho la fi ń jẹun a lè máa fi jẹun kálẹ̀ ni ọlọ́dẹ bá ń dúró tì. Kí ni Yorùbá nation, or let's just say what is a nation? We are campaigning for something. What are we campaigning for? We are campaigning for a nation, but through the process of what is called self-determination. Mr. Peter George Ekaro. Ìyá wa sọ pé Olúrẹ̀mí kí là ń kọ́ Gàbí wọ́n ní that wọ́n ní that is the reason why we campaigning for our Yoruba nation through self-determination. Ẹ ṣé gan ni yàrá lùbáríkà ẹ jẹ́ ń pín nìyẹn mọ́lẹ̀. Ó dà ń pa àwọn kan ẹ jẹ́ ń sọ kan fún wa. Not everybody is going to campaign for Yoruba nation. Now, not everybody is going to accept it. But that is not going to stop the campaign. You only stop campaigning. Whether you agree with it or kódà ẹ̀yin tẹ́tí bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa gan ṣe ẹ̀ bá náà ṣe mọ́ ẹ̀ bá yẹn lẹ́ náà ṣe mọ́. You have the right to say that. Àti náwó àti ṣe this àti ṣe that àti rí result ó ti sú wa. Tó bá ti sú yín ẹ̀yin bí àṣà èyí dára kò wé ìtàṣe ń pè ní movement nìyẹn. It is still a movement until you take back that control through the right to self-determination. Self-determination denotes the legal right of the people to decide their own destiny. Legal rights yẹn nísìn ni government in Nigeria ò tí ì fẹ́ fún àwa àti Biafra àti àwọn ẹ̀yà tó feel pé a ní láti lọ. Because if the federal government, it doesn't matter whether it was dead or alive, Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo, the shortman devil, tó pe ẹ̀ ní pastor, èmi mo tó ti rí pastor rẹ̀, because as far as I'm concerned, he's a shortman devil. Àbí Buhari tó ti kú, àbí tó wà láyé tó ti ní dementia, or Tinubu, àbí Jonathan, àbí Yaradua, it does not matter. Ìgbà tá started kò matter. Ìgbà tá fẹ́ gbà láì tí mọ̀. Because I think the country kankan. Mo sọ gbogbo rakati àtàwọn the other side yẹn ṣe pé àwọn ti gba country. They are wasting their hell of a hell time. Because kò síbi kankan tílẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́ni o lóru èní o tílẹ̀ fi máa mọ́ tó stop fan pé Yorùbá nation ti di country. It was once a country, or a nation rather, not even a country. It was once a nation of its own during those empire, up to the point of the 1914 amalgamation. Mo kí Adékúnlé plenty. Richie Money mo kí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Ṣé ń tẹ̀lé mi? This Yorùbá people tá à ń jáde yìí àti dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìlú rí before táwọn òyìnbó tó dé. After ọ̀ṣẹ́ mo kí ẹ èèyàn ti Koikimedia. Nígbà táwọn òyìnbó dé, àwọn ni wọ́n dá gbogbo ẹ̀rú kó tó di pé àwọn tó jẹ́ ẹni tó gbé fún wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í yọ olúkálùkù ń ṣe tó wù níbẹ̀. I'm asking again, what is the nation and why are we asking for that nation? Process wo la fi fi dé nation yẹn, òun ni a fi ń sọ pé we have the right. Tí bá jáde nísìnyí tí mo ní you have the right to be given a visa to this country. Irọ́ ni mo gbà o. Wàá láti prove right yẹn whether through birth or through whether you have the legal requirement to live in the country. And I'll give an example. How many people know that your visa does not guarantee you an entry into a country? How many people ló mọ̀ yẹn? Pé visa tó fún ẹ láti ilé, UK visa tó fún ẹ, American visa tó fún ẹ, Japan visa tó fún ẹ, any visa in the world tó fún ẹ kò guarantee ẹ pé ó máa gbé wọnú ìlú yìí. Ó dìgbà tí officer, immigration officer tó bá wà satisfied pé into náà fi wá ṣe àti reason to give tó fi fún ẹ ní visa yẹn. Ìyẹn ló ṣe máa ń sọ pé kọ́lọ́n sìn ẹ́ débẹ̀ o, kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ o land wọlé, because an immigration officer can literally turn you down from only stop landing it. I have experienced it in my life living in this country. I don't know whether I've talked about it before. I can't remember if I've talked about it or not. But about it, sorry, please remind me. To òpùrọ́ ló máa sọ̀rọ̀ tó máa switch ẹ̀. Mo lọ sí Dublin ní year kan, mo tẹ̀lé àwọn Scientology, mo ti sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn rí. Scientology, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Yẹmí Benson sọ pé yes of course at the point of entry. Mo mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ máa dán pè ní Scientology. Forget about pé wọ́n nìkan ló ń ṣẹ̀sìn láyé, ẹ̀sìn pọ̀ bíi bùà. Ẹ̀sìn tí ẹni kò dì mú, má contradict ẹ̀sìn lẹ́sìn. Wọ́n wá invite Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Bidus, gbogbo wọn. And we travel down with a private jet. Nígbà tí mo dán, wọ́n sọ fún mi pé mo ní wọlé. Mo ní mo ní wọlé báwo. Wọ́n náà yẹ kémi nídìí visa tèmi máa fi wọlé. Mo ní okay. Mo ní visa. Wọ́n ní visa ṣe. Mo ní mo ní di visa. Wọ́n ní mo ní visa kí n tó wọnú ìlú àwọn. Wọ́n ní báwo mo ṣe dé bíbá ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀. Mo ní private jet lọ fi kó gbogbo wa. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí, I can't remember the year precisely, but tí bá lọ wo communication mi pẹ̀lú àwọn ọlọ́pàá Dublin, màá lè trace padà, ó wà lórí email mi. Wọ́n ṣáà lọ́wọ́ bọ̀, wọ́n ṣáà land the grant mi pé wọ́n land mi wọlé. That means pé wọ́n allow mi kí n wọlé. But wọ́n hold the document mi. Nígbà tá a dẹ̀ ṣe ń tá a fi ṣe tán lọ́hùn, àdẹ̀jáde. Ẹ̀mọ̀ tí yàn tẹ̀ ẹ̀ka kún, èmi kàn tẹ̀ ti gbàgbé pé mo tẹ̀ lọ síbẹ̀. Mo wá ń fly bọ̀ láti bí àmú lọ Nàìjíríà. Mo wá ń bọ̀, ó wá dá mi dúró l'airport. Èmi ọ̀kan tó bá níwèé tó ń padà bọ̀, ọkùnrin máa balẹ̀ gan jẹun tó ní visa lọ. Immigration officer wá dá mi dúró. Ó ní we have to stop you you'll have to come with me. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? But ìlú yìí ní tí mo like ni pé they will always tell you the reasons why you are being stopped. Tó o bá travel o lè ní experience tí mo ń sọ yìí o. Ìyẹn ló ṣe ń sọ pé àwa tá à ń pariwo nísìn pé a ní right yẹn lórí ilẹ̀ wa ni, right yẹn ò sí lórí ilẹ̀ north, kò dẹ̀ sí lórí ilẹ̀ Igbo. The right to self-determination tá à ń sọ pé a fẹ́, it is the right lórí territory wa nìkan ni. They lè encroach on other person's territory. So I was pulled out of the crowd nígbà tí mo wà níwájú immigration officer. The first time tó kọ́kọ́ dá mi dúró bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀n pé kí ni ẹ̀ máa dé bẹ́ẹ̀ lójijì pé ìwọ tó ti wà nínú ilé tó dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé níwèé o kọ̀ jáde kò dẹ̀ wọlé padà lódì Mr. Koiki, we're gonna have to stop you, it's not a problem. Immigration officer wani, you travelled to Dublin? Mo ní yes. Mo ní and what happened? Mo ní pé wọ́n ti mínítì kankan sórí system mi, orí data mi. Bó ṣe sọ fún mi báyìí orí nǹkan ọ̀dẹ̀ fọlọ́ pé mo ní so ìyẹn ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ fi dá mi ó ní àwọn kọ́. Ẹ mọ̀ pé this country they work all in hand. Mo ní Nàìjíríà ò ń ṣe country. I was pulled out. Mo jókòó. Ìgbà tẹ́mi dá mọ̀ pé ibi tí mo lọ mo kúkú lọ jalè ńbẹ̀, mo dẹ̀ ṣe kankan níbẹ̀. They went for few minutes, probably about less than 20-25 minutes. It was not up to 30 minutes. And I came back. And the officer says, everything was fine. You're now allowed to go. But they will not tell you more than that. They will not tell you more than that. And on the very first day when that happened, it was like a shock, you know. But I've been stopped. What I'm just trying to say is that you coming to this country or any other country with a visa, àfi tó bá ti ní British, even kò tó bá ní ẹ̀gàn ṣe lè stop ẹ̀, but ìwọ tó ń bọ̀ pẹ̀lú visa kọ́lọ̀ jẹ́ Ọ̀làǹdì ni o, they can literally tell you you will not be allowed to continue with your trip into the UK. Then months after that again, I traveled, I was pulled out. Then from there, I knew that, it is nothing. But today, those things have been cleared. I'm talking about years back now. I was able to fight it. It took a bit of time. But how did I know? Sherry, this campaign, we are learning along the line and we are adjusting the program. Lori platform anymore, so I don't know about any other platform. I can't speak for any other platform. I'm speaking on my platform because this is a different platform that speaks and that can confirm Ubuntu. Because mo ní sọ ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo mọ̀ pé àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n wá lọ try láti first verify it. And that is why I have good amount of you all. Belua. There was a trip I was coming back. And as the officer said, we're going to stop you. Yeah, I'm aware of that. But it doesn't make sense. Because sometimes you meet some of them that will, just like Baba Nashin, Bolongo, Yoruba Nation, Family Nation, will make sense. Because our mop will make sense. But the due process that we figure Yoruba Nation, or Unikama campaign, nígbà tá a bá ti sọ pé a fẹ́ ja ogun, because ọ̀nà wo lẹ fẹ́ fi gba Yorùbá Nation? You first have to campaign about it. You gotta have to talk about it. You gotta have to give all the reasons why Yoruba must stand on its own against this contraction we call a country called Nigeria that is never a country in the first place. So the immigration officer, àgbàlagbà ni, ọkùnrin ni, he was not happy. But ó ní nǹkan tó lè sọ fún yàn. Ó kàn sọ fún mi pé try to, fight this. Try to, make inquiries. You should not be stopped. Make inquiries and find out. Take a legal process about this. Kò yẹ kó máa dá mi dúró náà. Èmi tí mo ti ń bọ̀ láti flight, mo ti dé tó ti fi wọ London padà tó sẹ́pọ̀ níwèé. Ọmọ ogun kan tẹ̀ tí ń wọ ẹ̀gbọ́n sí apá. Àṣé ilé náà, àṣé gbogbo àjọ wà ní same kò ní mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ ní mọ́ tó dáyàn dúró fún. Because as a Nigerian padà bọ̀ ọ́ pulẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn máa kẹ lọ dá ilé dúró fún báyìí ọlọ́mọ yẹn kọ́ dẹ̀bi náà olúkálukú àti máa ké fatia oríṣiríṣi kúnkúṣì olúkálukú àti máa gbògèdè. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Because if you get pulled out at the immigration point, tó bá mọ tó ń ṣe bọ́ irú èmi tí mo ti wá mọ̀ kan máa ń dá mi dúró bẹ́ẹ̀ màá fi iṣẹ́ fẹ́ ni màá sọ fún ọ́fíìsì yẹn pé you'll be out in the next few minutes. I'll be out of here because my wife and my children are waiting for me. Tọ́ba ti kọ́kọ́ béèrè wọ́n máa ń béèrè pé where are you coming from? Where have you been traveling from? I went to Nigeria and I'm coming back home. I'm coming back to my base. But we have to stop you for a few minutes and all that. But anyway, eventually, God's grace, I got back home after that officer spoke to me and I took steps. And if I go on my email, and I've been because we have to start saying some of these little things. Because which my play audio, I can prepare mind because it seems that some people are just watching us and they are not too sure what they are listening to. The self-determination campaigner are preparing our people to decide their fate, their lives, whether we still want to remain under this fake entity put together by the British in 1914 or whether we want to pull out. Ọ̀nà méjì ni. But ní right láti sọ fún wa pé àwọ̀ ní right kankan láti ṣe tá à ń ṣe. That is not allowed because the self-determination says that it is the legal òfin tó wà nínú òfin àgbáyé ti United Nations Charters. The right of the people to self-determination is a cardinal principle in modern international law. Òfin tó wà láyé ni. Fẹ́sàrẹ́ wo communication èmi àtàwọn ọlọ́pàá níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Báwo mo ṣe máa search fún lórí email mi nísìnyí. Ṣé kí n kọ́kọ́ ọ̀blẹ̀. What's in it? Data subject access request. No, show me here, yeah, I think so. Yeah, Dublin. Mo dẹ̀ like ìlú òyìnbó. Tó bá kọ́kọ́ make inquiry níbì kan, tó bá rí pé ibi yẹn gangan kọ́ ló need, wàá fún ẹni gbogbo information tó need. Mo kàn fi fún ẹni background of this was one bá wọn fa ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fa lọ fa bọ̀. So data protection. I'm not going to give you all the full details, but I'm just going to give you a snip. So an email was sent to me. I'm not going to tell you as much information, but I'll just tell you some few bits and bits. I wish to acknowledge the receipt of your email. I'm not going to give you the date. Advising the processing will continue on your application. Kind regards, clerical officer, and Gather Sochan Data Protection, Dublin. I sent a message to them. I've never lived in Ireland. Mo bá Scientology lọ lórí private. Tí bá tẹ̀ wá mọ̀ pé bó ṣe máa rí gan ni ẹni. I would have said I don't want to go. Kúkú force mi lọ. Èèyàn kan ló invite me based on my job in this country. Mr. Koiki, kí wọn náà wà nírú event yẹn, big event. Ẹ lọ Google àwọn tó ń pè ní Scientology, owó ṣiṣẹ́ pèrè burúkú wà lọ́wọ́ wọn. Ok, mo ti rí, mo fẹ́ wo ẹ̀rọ àti òbítẹ́mi ti kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ lélẹ̀. Mo ní I want all the details you are holding on me from your department. Gbogbo now, ǹjẹ́ àwa lè make a request bẹ́ẹ̀ nísìn tí UK máa fún wa ní that request? I have not tried it, but ó kọ̀ sí mi nísìnyí to find out gbogbo under freedom of information, and I think I will make a, we'll see if I can make a, application for that. Everything they are holding on the 1914 amalgamation, I think is what putting an FOI under freedom of information. Kọ́mọ sáwọn èyí tí mo ṣì gbà lọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá ìkan tó lélẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ orí olókun. It is time we start asking questions from this country, certain things. Ìmọ̀ àtọlọ́pàá lélẹ̀, UK police, Metropolitan Police, òní Metropolitan Police, àwọn tó bá dá lógò wọn mọ̀ torí ẹ̀ lè sọ pé kinní kan mẹ́fà ni mo tí ì rí bàbá kí tó yìí bá sọ̀rọ̀ tí bá ti bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ màá ṣe wàá ṣe àlàyé lórí eléyìí kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí sculpture tẹ̀ ń wò yìí kò ṣe gbogbo ilẹ̀ rí bọ̀tí bá pò kámẹ́rà yẹn wá sókè díẹ̀ ṣe ẹ̀rí so bó ṣe wà nìyẹn sculpture tẹ̀ ń wò lókè yìí orí olókun yìí mo kí bàbá Adégòkè October ni mo make a request yẹn or apologize títí wọ́n ní deadline tó yẹ kó fún mi àwọn náà ibi iṣẹ́ pọ̀ àwọn ní staff nǹkan kan but nígbà tó get back result mo fẹ́ wọ̀ fún mi but ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń bá bàbá kí tó yẹ sọ̀rọ̀ kí n tó wá sọ gbogbo tí mo bá bọ̀ màá tọ́ láti pè wọ́n lọ́la lágbára Ọlọ́run. So kí ni mo kàn fi fàyọ ni pé the same way tí ìwọ ṣe ń rò pé Koiki intention yìí kò fi yé wa mọ́ kí lẹ́mí pé kò yé yín èwo ni kò yé yín bẹ́ẹ̀ à ń béèrè fún right wa under the legal right of international law pé bó ṣe kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ sínú Nàìjíríà yìí ó wrong bó ṣe kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ it is not the right way so kí ni kò yé yín níbẹ̀. Now I don't want to go too much on my own case, but I did make a request. I gave them my date of birth. I gave them my passport number. I gave them my old passport number. I gave them, my resident permit. I gave them my old resident permit. I gave them my driver license. I gave them my bank account. I gave them my full address. And I told them that under freedom of information, I am now requesting what they called rectification or erasure of their personal data. Kí lẹ́yìn di data mi fún ìlú tí mo gbé àmì ìlú bá tẹ̀jẹ́ pàtí agbé níbẹ̀ ní since the different mo gbé níbẹ̀ so why are you holding because immigration officer yẹn jẹ́ kó yé mi pé problem yẹn kò ń ṣe látọ̀dọ̀ tiwọn níbí báyìí látọ̀dọ̀ tiwọn lọ́hùn ni ní kí ló mean by that well I didn't live there. I live here. I've only lived here for the last 25 years. Immigration officer ẹni pé kí n make sure pé mo fight ẹ̀dẹ́lẹ̀. Pé bí ṣe máa bọ̀ láti long ẹ̀mọ̀ òyìnbó ó ń bá mi kẹ́dùn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ń bá ẹ̀yin kẹ́dùn ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé. Torí pé ẹ̀ sí lábẹ́ freedom kankan for now. Ó ń bá mi kẹ́dùn pé I mean you've travelled long flight, you return back and then you'll be pulled out. No. Oh no, please fight it. And I was grateful I did. And that gave all clear. But what gave me all clear was another journey I was coming. The journey long. Mo kàn rí pé kò sí lọ jókòó mọ́. Ilé dé. Olúwa máa bọ̀ láti abroad. Olúwa wá dé airport. Ẹ wá máa dáyàn dúró. but imagine tó bá yẹ pé mo fight ẹ̀ mo kí àwa Rukayat Ọmọwùnmí ẹ̀ káàbọ̀ mọ́. So mo wá send under the Freedom of Information Act F20 Act 2014 FOI is the statutory right conferred on all members of the public to access records held by the public bodies including and gather situation àwọn yẹn lọ́pàá tí wọ́n ní Dublin while balancing the public interest and the right to privacy of individual and gather Shichona became subject to FOI on the 14th of October 2015 as a partially included agency insofar as it relates to administrative records relating to human resources and financial or procurement matters. This means that only requests for records relating to the following areas may be considered for release. I would now like to know the details you held on me after I visited your country. And the month necessary. I have been having problems here in England to be able to, each time I travel and I return back into the country, I'm being pulled out. Big but a criminal enemy. My question is, if I can be detained by the immigration at the border here in England at the airport, I was told it is because of my years ago visit to your country in Dublin. My question then is, why should I be disturbed because a record is held by your office? If I have problems in UK, I will not even be here. I am told the only person who can deal with this matter is your office in Ireland, and I need to have this information before taking it up with my legal team. And I also have copied myself this email. Thank you for your time reading this, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Ǹjẹ́ o lè kọ letter through email sí ọlọ́pàá Nàìjíríà kò dẹ̀ lóhùn? This is the reason why we are now saying that ní country, because country yín wà bí ìgbà tá wà nínú abúlé is backwards. Gbogbo ilé tí mo ṣe inú ilé mi mo ti ṣe, mo ò jáde inú ilé mi tí mo fi clear ara mi pé and they did apologize. And I sent that off, and within few days they wrote back to me that I want to acknowledge receipt email me. Ǹjẹ́ wọ́n lè communicate pẹ̀lú any state parastatal nínú state tiẹ̀ nínú Nigeria kí wọ́n dẹ̀ lóhùn. That is even if your state have a system set up to receive email in the first place. And in Nigeria is a country. And don't tell us that it will take some time. This stage here. It will never take that stage because Nigeria is not prepared for such. That is the reason why we got to pull it down so that we can save lives through the process of self-determination. Because nation nation but the nation was there before, or your empire, Kinikon Kingdom, Ijabu Kingdom, but it all failed because of the Western agenda surrounding it. So they pull a plug on us, gave us a fake country, managed that country in the last 63 years. It has become even more failure with so many indices that we can tell you. So you tons of people are fixed in Nigeria, live fixed in Nigeria to ma fi kú based on intending communicate pẹ̀lú ọlọ́pàá Dublin by email alone. Mo kúrò nílé mi. Nigeria ò lè dé stage yẹn láyé. Láyé ni mo sọ kò lè dé stage yẹn because it is not designed. But tá bá ti gba nation tiwa, we will be able to walk towards a lot of things rapidly, just like Bashiri Dubai, United Arab Emirates, ní Qatar, níbi tí àǹtí wa kan wà, wọ́n pè wá lórí program lánàá. Lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ọba tó wọ bẹ̀ nísìn, ó ti change òfin immigration rules. Ìyẹn mo sọ pé visa tó ń gbé bọ̀ láti abroad kò fún ẹ ní landing permit. Immigration officer can turn you down. Àwa tá tẹ̀ níwèé gan sẹ̀ wọ́n dá mi dúró ká má ì tí ì sọ ìwọ tó ń gbé visa lásán bọ̀. Èmi tí mo níwèé after tí mo ṣe wàhálà láti gbàwé yẹn, torí wàhálà nìyẹn ṣe kó tó gbàwé nílùú yìí. Wàhálà gùn ayágbé gbogbo ẹ̀ ló máa ṣe because ó mọ̀ tọ́ lè bẹ̀ fà. Mo dẹ̀ ti sọ fún yín débi pé wọ́n ti gbé mi dé airport rí. Mo ti sọ story yẹn fún yín rí. And these are why we are saying that this campaign tagbedani, it's a process as long as a bá ti sọ pé a ní jà, because tó bá yẹ pa fi jà nísìnyí gbogbo àti dàrú wà á dẹ̀ padà wá sórí round table, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá jà náà a máa padà sórí round table, bẹ́ẹ̀ jà máa wá sórí round table, but we must first be doing what they call the campaign surrounding it. So that's just to give you a background to, so eventually mo kọ́kọ́ ti send ẹ̀ síbi kan wọ́n sọ fún mi pé náà ibẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ ni máa send ẹ̀ sí, but I can tell you that everything was eventually cleared and that details was removed. So that is just on that. So I'm going to close that and come back now. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ nǹkan tí alàgbà ìfiránṣẹ́ sí mi. Mo ti fún wa ní the brief díẹ̀ nísìn. So mo fẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ ìtọ́sọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wá gbọ́, ó ṣe ṣe káwọn náà máa gbọ́ kan ní Koiki rẹ̀ wá play audio mi. Yes, I have to. Because tó bá yẹ pé bí gbogbo ń ṣe ń ronú nìyẹn, mo fẹ́ kí ẹ ronú a different ways. Àwọn èèyàn ní right láti máa ṣe business ní Nàìjíríà. Nàìjíríà ò tí kú náà. Nigeria is still a country that is running, on function. Àìmọye yẹn tẹ ní business tẹ́ ń run nínú Nàìjíríà. Ṣé nígbà tí Professor Moyo ń lọ sílé, ṣé wọ́n dágbére fún mi ni? Wọ́n dágbére fún mi now. He left to Nigeria until he had a problem. He cried out, and that is why we were able to talk about it. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Peter Joseph, but Nigeria is an impediment to the growth of Yoruba land, which you're very right. Ẹja pinning yẹn mọ́lẹ̀, mo like ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, impediment. So why are we all now doing this? Can set up a business, and to have set up a business, and set up a business now. Nobody is holding anybody. Nigeria is still functioning. And oxygen ṣì wà lára ẹ̀ díẹ̀, but oxygen yẹn ò lè ever jẹ́ kó ṣiṣẹ́, because oxygen tó wà nínú ẹ̀ nísìn kò ká gbogbo yàn. What is squeeze everybody, and that is why according to Reuters ní few days ago, Reuters sọ pé this is December 15, or to update it 2 days ago. Nigeria November inflation rises to 18-year high on the surging of food prices. Gbogbo wa náà la máa ń sọ pé oúnjẹ wọn. Kí ló ń fà tó oúnjẹ fi wọ́n? So bí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Peter Josh sọ, Nigeria is impediment to the growth of Yoruba land. Ó ń dá ìran Yorùbá dúró, kò jẹ́ ká tètè fẹ́ nílọsíwájú, and we must pull it down. But àwọn kan ní Koiki, ẹ má jẹ́ ká lọ in the direction of pé ẹni ẹ fẹ́ jà. Èmi wá ń gbìyànjú pé báwo la ṣe wá fẹ́ pull it down? Wọ́n ní a máa ṣe diplomatically. Wọ́n ní òkè yẹn náà ṣe dá. But tẹ́ bá lọ wo 35-page manual tí bàbá Kito ẹlòmíì ò tí ì kà. Tí bá play audio yìí, bó bá ṣe yé ẹ̀yin sí, ẹ fi sínú comment section yẹn. Mo mọ̀ pé ọ̀gọ̀jọ́ òru la wà, ìyàwó mi lẹ́sẹ̀ lọ́sùn ni, so I don't want to make too much noise because ìyá yìí tó máa jí láìpẹ́ láti fi wá dáná. Tó bá dẹ̀ ṣe jollof rice yẹn náà, èmi náà ni máa jẹ tó jù ń bẹ́ẹ̀ pọ̀ ìdájọ́ wẹ́lẹ̀.
Mr. Koiki, Akin Ekushe. I'm on a program, you know, but nǹkan tá a kàn fẹ́ tí mi kàn fẹ́ sọ ni pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń bẹ̀tẹ̀ lọ Yorùbá nation àti self-determination agitation, mo fẹ́ ká clarify because bá a ṣe ń bá a lọ tí ò ní clarity yẹn ó ń confuse so many things. Now there are some people tó fẹ́ ṣe àwọn kankan tó fẹ́ pé you know wọn ní lè ṣe because you guys won't support them because you believe that that is Yoruba nation stuff and it should be Mr. Banji Akintoye that is leading it. You know, that's a big trouble right there. Yoruba nation is Yoruba nation. Anything regarding Yoruba people is Yoruba nation. Self-determination, agitation, actualization, that's a totally different thing. You know, there are so many aspects of Yoruba nation. You understand? So, and that's where I come in. You know, before I strongly support you guys concerning agitation, self-determination, but now I don't think that I'm into that too much anymore. You know, because I see opportunities too much. Everything wrong in Nigeria is a big opportunity to go into. And sometimes you'll notice that I send a message on your YouTube live sometimes. You know, give me the contract, I have something to offer. Yes, I mean it. Because I only see Yoruba Nation as as an entity. And that entity controls big sum of money. We're talking about, billions of dollars. So, I can clarify nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ ká lè kẹ́sẹ̀ járí. Tá bá gba Yorùbá Nation or not, kí ni difference? Yorùbá Nation is still going to be Yorùbá Nation. But the thing is, bá a ṣe ń balancing, tá bá lè figure out kankan. Ṣé ìgbà tá bá gba Yorùbá Nation tó máa figure out bá a ṣe máa fit ara wa? Trouble nìyẹn náà. And then if you look at things, during that agitation period, we were sending in money, supporting all you guys on YouTube and all that. And most of the money, how did they spend it? The mentality of the people is still I don't want to talk too much about people, because that's not my concern. So we still have to change mindset. Most of the money went to something different. They are not truthful. And even if you put money into something different, there's a clever way to do that. But they just mess everything up. So let us, let's dialogue, and see how we can move on. There's too much opportunity there. And if we don't start doing that now, we are not helping our self-determination. We are not helping it. We are not helping it. And that's why it's been so difficult now to say we are moving towards self-determination. It's been very difficult because we haven't clarified things. There's business in everything. There's politics in everything. So our people are suffering. If we start with that, enlightenment, our people are not exposed. So we have a big thing that we hold, but we are not managing it right. And that's why I'm telling you that. Come and sign contract with me. I'm not playing. We have to talk about one particular thing, something in particular. And that very thing, you put money into it and see what I'm talking about. Too many things. Nigeria is no good. As we speak, I can still assure you that if we really know what we are doing as Yoruba Nation, that Yoruba Nation is real. We are not going to be among those people. Don't suffer Nigeria or don't try to, get ahead. We are struggling. We are behind everybody else. But we have what others don't have. I was talking to this guy this week, a few days ago. He has a shop here. And in that shop, he sells, spiritual items. Actually, he's a Babalawo from Cuba. And he was telling me that in Cuba, there was one, is it Mr. Akinyemi, something like that. The first Yoruba person that brought, Yoruba stuff, culture into Cuba. He said they worship him. He's not a black person, no? And there are so many of them here. The name of his shop is actually Ashe Yalode. You know, there are so many of them. Some of them don't even have physical shop. They are inside. They do inside their own place, apartment, house, whatever. So, I can't clarify what to one leg. You know, ọ̀pọ̀rọ̀ kágbọ̀n afẹ́fẹ́ ló máa ń kó lọ. Nǹkan ti pọ̀ jù. A gbé nǹkan ńlá dání. A dẹ̀ máa ń agitate. Látàṣe yẹn agitate. Kò ń ṣe kọ́ tẹ̀yìn agitate lórí ẹ̀. If we put things together the right way, let's forget about struggle. Ìyà ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn wa, ìyà ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn wa. Is it because of the economy is bad? No. I learned going not around Fulani. I learned not around Igbo. You know, and we keep going back daily. You know, in Nigeria, she was Sokoto, Banya, Sokoto, and Luri Nigeria. It might come and turn around. And what is the money? She won't control our monarchs one salad. You know, but it's really a matter of rebellion. We are free. We are not living in Nigeria now. So many things. You know, so I'm get into too much details. One thing in particular, can sign contract. Okay, this thing you claim that this is not our problem, and this is what we need to do. What do you want to do? You know, most of the projects say you're not going to pay me directly. You pay whoever you want. You call your own person to find you or get your own supplier. I don't have whatever location that I put everything together. You know. So a few months ago I called this guy. AY citizen AY. You know, then I was ready to put $15,000 into this stuff. So he called me. He told me, we're gonna go back to you. Okay. And then next thing, he went and make a video. Baba Akintoye is the one running Yoruba Nation. Let's not do anything, you know, this and that. So I was pissed off, like, I'm not into Yoruba Nation. You know, I'm not into Yoruba Nation agitation. I know what I'm doing, I know what I want to do. I'm talking about business to my elevator. Without that, we can't make it, and I'll let you know. But you think I'm part of self-determination, actualization. I'm not part of that. But it's something that is related to Yoruba people. So I support it 100%. But then I'm involved in it. I'm not going to be involved in that. I'll give you support. But when it comes to Yoruba stuff, that's Yoruba stuff. How we get on, how we face what's going on now. There are too many ways to defeat anything the North is bringing. Easy ways that bring us money, freedom. And then if you don't empower your people, they are not going anywhere. Right. So they can clarify and even when we have a break in Nigeria, we won't still have problem and nobody will dominate us. Look at the northerners. Our non-share agriculture. And the palm project, that palm project alone is enough for them not to depend on nobody. But still, this palm nuts is South Lotiwa. Indonesia, they were in South, one of developer, hybrid. Now we are buying the hybrid from them because some of our farmers believe that their own is the best. So, jet fuel from palm kernel is the best. It's better than kerosene, you know. And it's just too many things here that miss. So if you see this message, please, let's talk. We have something tangible. And it doesn't take a lot of money itself. It's just that we need people to want into the same thing. You know, I'm not here, I'm not here to play. I know what I'm doing. I want business. So, the money is there. The money is too much, self, in Yoruba nation. Nothing is being managed. So, please, reach out to me if you get this message. My name is Richard.
I don't know how you've been able to understood what this individual is talking about, because from my own understanding, he wants to set up a business. We can run a good business to elevate our people. Well, I mean, nobody's stopping anybody from running any business as Nigeria stands today. If anybody wants to run a business, you have the right to go and run that business. Do you know how many people, I mean, how about Professor Moyo Okediji that went home with so much amount of money? Now, let's come back to some of the points raised by the caller there. I mean, the audio, the voice note that was sent to me yesterday. Because I'm trying to crack my head. This is what I deal with on a daily basis with different things. Saying, okay, Yoruba nation. She at any territory tiwa, yes. She had to take a control. We haven't. The southwest part of Yoruba land is still under the control of the federal government and our state governors. So, if you want to do certain project that relate to Yoruba nation, this is another trap as for me. Okay, I mean, that's why I played it out to the public, because more bench any understanding it, and maybe later I will do another analysis as I play it again. But at least the platform this stage this caller is saying self-determination. And again, it's talking about the Yoruba nation. They only business opportunity. Is that not why we are not saying that? Is that not the reason why Tabatigba country tiwa, we can run a proper business out of it? But the present day Nigeria, you can still run business, but it's entirely up to you whether that business succeed or not. Because if you're going to run a business in the present day Nigeria, well, I don't know what you're going to do to make it to function. But I can tell you that according to, Bloomberg, which is a top, Bloomberg, you will know that, the analysis there, I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. I'm not able to read it, but the headline says, Nigeria inflation rises more than the forecast to March 2005 record. Inflation today in Nigeria is 28.2%. In November, according to the statistics office says, food inflation rate literally rose to 32.8% from 31.5%. So alàgbà tó ń sọ pé àwọn fi ṣe business, àwọn fi elevate àwọn èèyàn, ta ló ń stop wọn? Ṣé àwa Yorùbá nation campaigner là ń stop àwọn èèyàn pé kó má lọ ṣe business ní Nàìjíríà? He talked about Sultan of Sokoto ló ń control Nigeria. I have talked about that as far as more than 3 years ago. He talked about èèyàn kan ṣe spiritual kìíní ní America or wherever. Oh, ní Peckham wà níbí báyìí tí bá dé Dustin, àìmọye àwọn ìyá wa tó ń ta spiritual stuff níbẹ̀, and they are doing very well. But I said that in Nigeria, as of 10 years ago, títí di bí ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ bá ààrí iṣu kó wọlé láti Nàìjíríà gbogbo iṣu tó ń kó wá sílùú yìí wọ́n package as Ghana yam ni kò ń ṣe tán pè ní Ghana yam kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ Ghana yam àwa lá ní iṣu yẹn but because of the bureaucracy because of the bottleneck that is in that contraction tẹ́ ń pè Nàìjíríà many businesses would not get to UK properly. And that is what makes the difference when we say that we should work towards the actualization of having our own independent country. There's no Yoruba country as we speak right now. It used to be a Yoruba kingdom prior before the 1914 fraudulent amalgamation. But it seems that how people are now modeling it, ṣé Baba Akintoye stop anybody pé kó má lọ ṣe business ni? I don't think he has done so. I don't think Professor Banji Akintoye has literally said that anyone that wants to run a business in Nigeria should not. Mo dẹ̀ rò pé mo ever jáde in the last 3 years kí n discourage àwọn èèyàn pé ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ṣe business ní Nigeria pé kó má ṣe. I know few people that have traveled out to go to their little engagement that they have back home. But at any business, this is the latest report. Let's go on the business inside Africa. Then, I want to pick some of your comments quickly. So let me start from Dr. Benjamin said, wow. Then Babawa Taiwo Olarinwaju said, this man is making sense, but the bad leaders and the Fulani cabals and the cannibals will not allow his ideas to be actualized until we have our own Yoruba nation. But he keeps talking about there's opportunity in Yoruba nation, which we all agree, but you can't run certain things in Nigeria the way it is structured. In the last 10 years, more business is she to the feminine percentage. Pẹ̀lú Captain John because of the bottleneck mo ti fi truck mi logistic truck mi mo ti fi lọ sí Heathrow airport ta fi kó ẹ̀fọ́ pẹ̀lú Alhaji mo rántí orúkọ the other saying Alhaji yẹn ọmọ every Friday làwọn ẹ̀fọ́ yẹn máa ń dé London èmi ni máa lọ bá wọn distributed pẹ̀lú truck mi logistic truck mi àmà distributed but eventually that business could not go further as well because of the bottleneck. So ní airport yín àwọn NECO àwọn feel pé is an opportunity ibẹ̀ ní gbogbo àwọn agency jókòó sí ilé àní certificate kan none of them is integrated. Mo fẹ́ ṣe business pẹ̀lú mo rí ibi táwọn ọmọ mi ti lọ ṣe fídíò bí tó ti ń ṣe fùfú I'm sure pé tìbá níbẹ̀ ni mo ti ń kó fùfú wá ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀kọ́ arrest mi nílùú ìpè ibẹ̀ yẹn ni wọ́n ti ń kó fùfú wá ṣé ìwọ rí environment yẹn bó ṣe rí ẹ mọ àwọn èèyàn tó fi máa jẹ fùfú ní London. I Europe. I would have loved to say, but Mama ni kò bá mi kó fùfú wá o, but the environment yẹn omi tó fi ń ṣe gbogbo kìíní yẹn kò wá enough. The environment is not up to the standard to get to UK or to get to Europe. Ẹ̀wà tẹ́ ń kó wá sí UK or Europe mo mọ̀ bí UK ní sì máa accept kọ̀kọ̀ wá because nígbà náà ti kúrò lára EU. How many engagement mo tẹ̀lé wọn wọnú Nigerian embassy wọ́n máa sọ̀rọ̀ títí ìyẹn mo sọ pé fraud ní gbogbo business summit kan tó ń ṣe is all fraud get out. I've lived there for the last 25 years. Within the Nigerian community, I have been engaged with them for more than 20 years. Fraud ló pọ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀. A fi ṣe business lọ Nàìjíríà a máa ṣe this a máa ṣe that wọ́n máa rojọ́ wọ́n máa ṣe this wọ́n máa ṣe summit wọ́n máa ṣe exhibition. It's all lies. At the end of the day nothing comes out of it. So ẹ jẹ́ ká kàn án comment díẹ̀ tó wá after tàti gbọ́ audio yẹn a tún máa gbọ́ padà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. So Dr. Benjamin sọ pé the caller is not seeing the bigger picture, and besides poverty is not really the reason why we need Yoruba nation. Stop discouraging our people. Nigeria has no future for us. Lánàá ẹni tó send audio yẹn another one máa play yẹn náà nísìn àtijọ́ Tuesday ló ti send ẹ̀ mo ṣe gbọ́ lánàá ni èyí níjọ́ Sunday 17/12/2023 aago 4 ló ṣe fi lọ lù lọ́dọ̀ tiwa aago 5 fẹ́ lọ lù lọ́dọ̀ ti ní Nàìjíríà ẹni yẹn send ẹ̀ níjọ́ Tuesday nígbà tí mo gbọ́ báyìí mo bá wọn sunkún. I mean, not cry out, but again, he talks about the health. I play audio yẹn láìpẹ́. So ẹ jẹ́ ká ka àwọn comment díẹ̀ sí. Dr. Mr. Lawrence, Dr. Benjamin, this man talking is missing the point presently. All what he's saying is it will be possible at Yoruba nation. And I fish a business a lot this, I fish a business a lot that, I fish a this. Wọ́n jẹ́ ká kẹ́wàá wá sí Europe because wọ́n ní pesticide tó fi ń ṣe, you know, ó affected. So Europe banned it. Wọ́n jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ wọlé. Yam business pẹ̀lú Captain John òtútù ó fẹ́ ṣe mí léṣe I lọ sí Spitalfield wọ́n ready láti kó ilé tó ní ìsọpọ̀ fẹ́ kó fi bíi $15,000 àbí $50,000 ẹ mọ iye táwọn tó fẹ́ kó sówó sílẹ̀ ní Spitalfield market fíìmù àti Captain John we are talking about more than £2 million sterling tó máa kó fún wa up front but a gbọ́dọ̀ guarantee wọn pé iṣu yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ máa dé ìlú yìí ní interval tá a sọ fún wọn pé ó máa dé ìlú yìí ẹgbọ́n kan tó mo sọ. A gbọ́dọ̀ guarantee pé táwọn bá ti fún wa ní upfront payment táwa máa wá kó fẹ̀yìn farmers nílé ẹ̀ bá wa a máa nídìí iṣu 50 ton níbẹ̀ yẹn 100 ton níbẹ̀ yẹn 50 ton níbẹ̀ yẹn 600 ton níbẹ̀ yẹn ẹ̀yin ò ní business tẹ́ mo máa ṣe nílé gbogbo àjọ máa jèrè ni ìyẹn kan ṣẹ́wọ̀n sọ fún mi pé òun pé citizen ay kan wọ́n lè máa gbọ́ program mi nísìnyẹn àwọn máa invest àwọn ní $50,000 alẹ́ fẹ́ máa fi $50,000 èmi lẹ́ fẹ́ máa fi $50,000 fi dẹ́rùbà ẹ mọ etí mọ̀ sí tèmi fi ń travel lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ filtex lọ ṣaṣọ $50,000 wá jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí owó kémi àwọn tó ṣe rédíò transistor radio tó dé tó fẹ́ máa tà nísìn ní UK àti America $30 ní Europe €30 ní UK £30 ní Nàìjíríà $35,000 ẹ tó bá ti ní interest sí rédíò yẹn kò dẹ̀ ṣe púpọ̀ tó kó wọlé. For now ẹ kàn sí mi àfún yín ní nọ́mbà ẹ pè wọ́n pé Koikimedia ẹ ti gbọ́ programme ẹ dẹ́ mọ̀ bẹ́ ṣe máa gbà kò sí l'Amẹ́ríkà tàbí fẹ́ ta ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló wà àwọn mẹ́ta $65,000 lọ fi ṣe project yẹn so far kò tí sówó mi tó tuntun náà so yẹn wọ́n ṣàǹsẹ̀ pé yẹn àfẹ́ ṣe yẹ mo ń try láti understand nǹkan tó mean because nobody have discouraged anybody to go and run a business in Nigeria. If you want to go and run a business, go and run a business on the shithole country that the inflation is killing everybody. Tí dọ́là ń lọ sókè pàkópàkópàkó. Àìtí mo Christmas ní sinwó ti di 1,500 àsàfànà. So yẹ ká túbọ̀ ká kọ́mẹ́ǹtì díẹ̀ sí. Mo kí bàbá wa Ebenezer Ibitayo káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Mr. Nurudeen, welcome to the program. Ẹ like ẹ kẹ́dẹ̀ share. That's the Bible and enjoy it. Dr. Benjamin says, so this scholar think we are demanding for sovereign Yoruba nation just because there's poverty in Nigeria. Oh wow. Mr. Testimony Ogun Tono sọ pé let him go ahead to do his business to elevate our people from poverty. Benny, the last business tí mo sì mi ṣe pẹ̀lú Filtex ní Switzerland was $60,000 ní 1980. Calculated owó ti sìn. Ní ẹ̀kan wá ń sọ fún wọn pé ẹ tẹ̀ bá ń rò pé mo sọ fún ẹ má kó gbogbo amọ́ rógà o ọmọ olówó lèmi o èmi ọ̀rọ̀ owó kankan yes ibi tí bá ti ń ṣe ni má ti jẹ ṣé kí n má jẹ níbẹ̀ ni but kò sẹ́ni tó máa sọ pé Koiki wọ ọ̀rìṣẹ́ owó tó ń ṣe mo á wà lára àwọn tó máa sọ fún yín pé ẹ tó bá fẹ́ ṣe àwọn ẹṣin ṣe business ní Nàìjíríà náà but everybody tó ń ṣe business ní Nàìjíríà gbogbo àlà ń rí impact ẹ̀ pé ó ń decline kò grow ìlú tó bá dẹ̀ ti grow yes ẹ lè nẹ́fẹ̀ ok ẹ fẹ́ kó spiritual item láti Nàìjíríà lọ sí America if the process is okay for you go and do it 10 years àìtí àwọ̀ tí ìrìṣù kó wọ London in 10 years ni mo ń sọ ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation mo ṣe lọ ṣe interview pẹ̀lú Captain John somewhere around there 2017 or 18. Dr. Benjamin Jokwe, Mr. Olariwaju, honestly, it is sad our next generation will suffer it worst if Nigeria continue the way it is going. The poverty the caller is worried about will skyrocket. skyrocket. Dr. Benjamin, I was surprised when someone in Yoruba Nation movement tried to discourage me and talk me out of Yoruba Nation. What is wrong with some of our people? Why are you talking people out of Yoruba Nation? Ẹ̀yin bọ́ tó bá ti sọ yẹn ẹ lọ jókòó síbí kan náà. Kò kúkú ṣe gbogbo èèyàn náà ló kúkú agree pẹ̀lú wa. Bola Tinubu, it took him 4 years to prepare the ground láti padà sí ilé lọ ṣe election to fi win after ti Abacha kú. Bíbá bẹ́ẹ̀ dà kó padà sílé nígbà tá Abacha wà láì. Kí lóun náà ṣe dúró tó ṣe sá lọ. So bó ṣe máa rí padà rí náà nìyẹn pé Yorùbá Nation ní bọ́sìn ẹ̀ tútù ẹ̀ dànù. Iṣẹ́ ọba Elédùmarè ni but ní wá nítorí Ọlọ́run ló máa ṣe kémi wá máa sùn sórí bẹ́ẹ̀ nígbà tí mo láǹfààní àti dìde díẹ̀ pé ká tó wá sọ̀rọ̀. Mo jí lọ bí iṣẹ́ lọ́la, mo lọ bí kankan lọ́la. Church service àjọ máa ṣe lórí online lọ́la ni mo ní sọ church tèmi náà máa ń listen. Tó bá dẹ̀ tó jọ Friday àtúnlọ kí Jímọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ìyá tèmi ní mọ́ṣáláṣí Muslim Association of Nigeria ní UK, gbogbo àwọn tó wà lókè ntò, gbogbo ìgbà pátá mọ kíjà rẹ̀ ìyá dáadáa, gbogbo ìyá alásàlátù. Tó bá dẹ̀ tó dé àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe èṣù dé ìyẹn náà ń bọ̀ lọ́n the 24. Ẹ má discourage anybody tẹ́yìn ò bá fẹ́ ṣe fine. Ẹ bá ti náwó ìgbà tẹ́ wá náwó kọ́ àwa náà nọ́ra now. Everybody is working hard. Bọ̀kà wá jókòó tatarata ká sọ pé torí àfẹ́ Yorùbá Nation ẹ̀yin kan wá ní àti náwó àmọ́bí ta náwó yẹn sí. Náà àfi jógẹ̀lẹ̀dẹ̀ ni. Gbogbo owó tẹ kó fún wa àfi jógẹ̀lẹ̀dẹ̀ ni. Àfi tẹ́ tó bá fẹ́ parọ́ pé in the last 3 years the difference have not materialized in terms of the engagement of the Yoruba Nation against Bola Tinubu. Àwa ló fi wọlé sí president. Ṣé torí pé àfẹ́ sọ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ délẹ̀ ẹ fẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ ni irú èmi kọ́ ni máa sọ̀rọ̀. Mo sọ fún yín mo ní Bola Tinubu ó fún Ìgbòho ní ọ̀wọ̀ tiẹ̀, Ìgbòho náà fún lọ́wọ́ tiẹ̀. Mo dé mọ́bẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin rí kú bàbá yèyé ni ẹ̀yin mọ̀ tó sọ fún àwa ni. Ẹ fẹ́ kí n máa spill ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Mo sọ fún yín pé bí babaláwo yín ṣògùn pé tọ́mọ yín bá ti wà lórí program a máa tú kálẹ̀ pẹpẹ ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Bí Kùránì tẹ gbé tẹ ń sà sí wa pé tìrú èmi bá jáde màá wá sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan jáde ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Ẹ bá tàn bẹ́là ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Ikú bàbá yèyé mo mọ tó sọ fún wa lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Bọ́lá Tinubu. Mo ṣe ń ka kọ́mẹ́ǹtì o mo kàn fẹ́ kún ètè mi ni oye ẹ ti use more now. Tó bá ti ń dry kò dá kó máa dry. Crude oil lọ́ fi ṣe Vaseline lélẹ̀ àríṣe láti ìjọ ní Nàìjíríà ṣe pé country work níbo ló ti ń work sí. Àádẹ́sì máa béèrè owó mo ń sanwó BBC nílò yìí TV license ọ̀bí mi dá kí n má san ó bá di next year ní sọ máa increase ẹ̀. Ẹni máa fún wa ni kò ní fún wa ẹni máa fún wa. Ẹ̀yàn sọ pé wọ́n fi Yorùbá Nation opportunist ni wọ́n kí lẹ mean by that. Yes ibi tí everybody bá ti ń ṣe ló ti máa jẹ́ àwọn kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ pa ni àwọn kan kò dẹ̀ sí bá ṣe fẹ́ avoid ẹ̀. Ṣèbí gbà tá à ń sọ fún yín àwọn kan ẹni torí ẹ fẹ́ ní access sí Ìgbòho ẹ kówó fún wọn ṣé mi mo ní kẹ́ lọ kówó fún wọn ṣèbẹ́rẹ́ mi bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ kówó fún nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbogbo táyà tí olóyè wà níbi tó fún wọn sí níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ẹ̀ tún boycott wa bẹ́ẹ̀ ni original tẹ̀lé ilé ìbí ṣe máa ń lò nìyẹn yàn pé ìlú yìí gbọ́dọ̀ máa jẹ́ kí tiẹ̀ kó moist gbogbo wọn lọ́gbọ́ ọ́ di fraud yìí tán ẹlòmíì ò lè sọ yìí tó gbà lọ́wọ́ òun. Mo rántí ìyá wa kan mọ̀ sí mi wá lórí program ẹ̀wọ̀n kẹ́mi kọ̀ dákẹ́ èmi ò ń like láti máa drag gbogbo àwọn kan kéékèèké ìyá yẹn gbé mọ́tò fún wa pé ká máa manage. Ẹni tó bá ń follow mi dáadáa kọ́ọ̀lù yẹn wọlé nígbà tí mo wà ní Trafalgar Square. I'm talking about maybe 2 years ago now precisely I think. Mo ti ń ṣe program lọ nínú Trafalgar Square lábẹ́ ibi tí Mandela wà ní kọ́ọ̀lù yẹn dé níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn wọ́n pè mí mo move away from the platform kọ́rọ̀ tí mo sọ má ba penetrate wọlé. Nìyá ìbá nìyẹn mọ́tò tọ́hún gbé fún yín Ìgbòho làwọn gbé fún gbé kí lọ́mí pé Ìgbòho làwọn gbé fún tàlẹ́ náà gbé fún tẹ́lẹ̀ ibi Yorùbá Nation náà ni Ìgbòho náà lẹ́ gbé fún because àwọn oníbàjẹ́ ti lọ pa àwọn ìyá yẹn lẹ́yìn pé kọ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ Koiki ibo ló gbé mọ́tò yẹn sí. Mọ́tò yẹn kan ni mò ń sọ yìí níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ìyá náà bí i London lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn ìyá yẹn nísìnyí àmọ́ bí wọ́n ti fade away dànù ojú ti ti gbogbo wọn nísìn. èyí tí bàá mi ó ti yé yín ẹ ti mọ orúkọ èyí tí mò ń sọ yẹn mo mọ tó ti lọ kàjọ àwọn ìyá yẹn bí à ń ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa fún mi ìyá ṣe sùúrù náà mọ́tò tẹ gbé fún wa kí mo fẹ́ fi mọ́tò ṣe mọ́tò wà nínú ilé Ìgbòho ń bẹ̀ because wọ́n fẹ́ gba mọ́tò yẹn káwọn máa rí lò gbàtẹ́mi dẹ̀ wà nílé mo restrict pé no gbogbo mọ́tò tó bá ní ká lò fún movement a gbọ́dọ̀ lò fún movement ni àwọn fi máa fi ṣe big boy fi máa fi ṣe woman London ìyá yẹn wà mo gbúrò ẹ̀ mọ́ láti jọ ẹni sìn ojú ti ti gbogbo wọn gbogbo àwọn tẹ fún lówó náà níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn láàmì ti gba gbogbo yín dànù láfi máa fi rọ́bìṣì yí gbogbo alára àwọn opportunist èmi ń ṣe opportunist yes ibi tí mo ti ń ṣe ni màá ti jẹ gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ yẹn no tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe níbì kan wọ́n má jẹ níbẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀ pé sacrifice kọ́ làwọn náà ṣe ṣèbẹ́yìn lọ síbi iṣẹ́ ẹ̀yin náà má lọ síbi iṣẹ́ kẹwàá ṣe tèmi ṣe back to back kẹwàá ní kọ́ máa sanwó fún yín tọ́ba dẹ̀ wá fún yín lówó kẹ́yìn náà má mú bẹ́ ṣe máa tọ́jú ara yín díẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀ yàn kan máa sọ fún mi pé opportunist ni gbogbo wa ẹ kó jágbajàgba lọ mo ní kẹ máa ṣe ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ṣe business ẹ máa lọ ṣe business kí lẹ fẹ́ link business yín mọ́ Yorùbá nation fún ìgbà kan náà ó ń fi flag ṣe business at least ọ̀ṣàrí ní Nàìjíríà àbí wọ̀rí flag látijọ́ yìí nísìn flag olè tó rí mọ́ nísìn a ṣe poster no election èmi mo lọ sílé mo lọ ní kó ṣe poster a design ẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn padà lọ dìbò ẹ wá ń sunkún ẹlẹ́lẹ́yà nísìn ebi ń pa yín o jagabanu ìníkan àwọn èèyàn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sẹ́ndì ọlọ sọ fún Ìgbòho níjọ́ náà pé ṣé o máa jẹ́ kí Koiki sọlé ẹ̀ di bẹ́ẹ̀sì tán receive oríṣiríṣi èmi ni gbogbo èèyàn send ẹrù sí níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ó wá di pé àwọn kan náà fẹ́ di pé ẹ máa send ẹ̀ sí wa eventually àwọn kan wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sẹ́pọ̀ dà bí send mẹ́wàá sí Koiki send díẹ̀ sẹ́yìn náà at the end of the day what has been the outcome àwọn tó lè manage ara wọn gbogbo wọn ni mo rí tán they can't manage themselves but mo dúpẹ́ fọlọ́run mo ní èmi ni last man standing ẹ rò pé ẹni mo fi ń dáhùn ni èmi ni last man standing àwọn kan ṣe máa bọ́lẹ̀ nínú ìrìnàjò yìí so tí wọn náà tó ń wò mí wọn pé àti náwó àti ṣe ọmọ ètètè ya bọ́lẹ̀ nísìn ẹ ṣì fà wá sílẹ̀ àwa ṣì ń tẹ̀síwájú. ìyá mi grandma comfort me please let him stop discouraging our people let's take heed another deception is coming. ẹ fi wá fowó tó máa fi distract wa ẹ ti rí àwọn mugun òun máa kó $50,000 sílẹ̀ àbí ilé ẹ̀fẹ́ kó sílẹ̀ ẹ kó 50,000 yẹn fáwọn family yín nílé kan ẹjọ́ máa fi ṣe business ẹ má kó yẹn wá sọ́dọ̀ tiwa tẹ bá fi dáwó Yorùbá nation ẹ lọ dá ìtẹ bá fi dá sọ́dọ̀ wọn ní ọ̀dọ̀ YSD ẹ dá ìtẹ bá fi fún Koiki kẹ́ fún mi ìtẹ bá ní ká fi ṣiṣẹ́ àfi ṣiṣẹ́. mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí now ẹ lọ sórí website mi www.koikimedia.com/yoruba-documents-files. There is something I kept there tó ti wà níbẹ̀ self-determination in the case law of African Commission because movement will continue to need funding just as it will continue to need a lot. Mr. Koiki, I still have the 2 Yoruba Nation t-shirt and 10 flags. ọ̀rẹ́ mo sí mi kan bí àbúrò àbẹ́gbọ̀n kan wá sí London ọ̀rẹ́ lọ nífẹ̀ẹ́ Ìgbòho ọ̀tẹ̀ bẹ̀mí pé kárí wọn títí kọ́ fún mọ̀mọ́ ọ̀tẹ̀ ti padà lọ Nàìjíríà nísìn bọ́ẹ̀ kan mo ráyè rí wọn so grandma yẹn wá ní nígbà tí máa yẹn tó dé tán ní àwọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ Ìgbòho nǹkan kan wọn ní bí à ń ṣe wọnú lé ní àwọn kó flag kó aṣọ já ẹnì kan tó tó yìí lọ́wọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni because àwọn kan dúró pé anytime any day yes many of us want us to be back on the street campaigning which is our right is our legal right èmi mo kẹ́ ẹ ti jẹ bàbá káàbọ̀ sórí ètò kò ṣẹ́ ni mo dẹ̀ ti sọ pé tá a bá jáde láti continue the campaign tá à ń ṣe lọ kò lè help because a mọ reaction Bọ́lá Tinubu ó máa kọ́lọ́pàá síta ni wọ́n máa nà wá lẹ́gba ni tá a bá ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ok tó bá jẹ́ pé Lagos là ní lọ for now a ṣe máa ṣe gbèríko ààrẹ náà ní irú rédíò tó gbé jáde again transistor radio pé tó bá ti ń dijọ́ Saturday sí Sunday àwọn èèyàn wọn tẹ́bákọ̀ ti fi sínú short wave automatic ló máa tune between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. àwọn kan ní Koiki kí ló dé tẹ̀ ṣe ní FM oh yes at least tó bá dọjọ́ iwájú tá a bá rí i pé ọ̀nà wà tá a lè fi ṣe FM ẹni tó ṣàtìra transistor radio á gbọ́ lórí FM because ó ní FM nínú but for now tá a bá ṣe é pé a fẹ́ ṣe é ní FM tá a máa gbé transmitter síta tó bá detected tó pull it down kódà ìbá gbé lọ sí Benin Republic technology náà ti wà tó lè fi rí tó lè fi wá but wọ́n lè mọ ibi tí satellite wà kọ́ máa wá satellite káàkiri but satellite is quite expensive satellite yàtọ̀ sí normal phone tá a fi ń pera wá yìí it is very very expensive so mo fẹ́ dìde díẹ̀ fún few minutes nǹkan fi stretch ẹsẹ̀ mi but while I'm gonna do that ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́ mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí nǹkan pè so mo máa yọ wifi mi kúrò ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ lọ́dọ̀ brother mi tí mo ní ọmọ wọn ní kí wọ́n béèrè wọn nídòwó mo kàn fẹ́ ká fi kọ́gbọ́n pé ní Nàìjíríà lẹ́nìí ọmọ gbàdúrà pé kó má sick ẹ̀já gbọ́ lè mú padà bọ̀ èmi ti gbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀yà máa gbọ́ kí n fi lọ sókè kí n fi padà wá.
ẹ kọ́ lẹ́sà ẹ kú iṣẹ́ yìí this is 10:23 p.m. alẹ́ mo ṣe ń wọlé láti bí around 4 o'clock. I want to share my experience with you, sir. Lenny, wọ́n mú pé baby mi that's 1 and 8 months old ni 1 year and 8 months old. Ọ́fíìsì mo wà nígbà tí mo ṣáà rí pé ara ń fún mi mo kàn rí pé mo wá wo lọ sí ṣọ́ọ̀bù ìyàwó mi wá rí pé kò sí mbẹ̀ mo wá wò sàlẹ̀ mo ṣáà rí pé wọ́n ń sọ ọmọ ẹ̀sìn sàlẹ̀ sọ́sọ́kọ̀ wọ́n ò gba ọmọ mi lélẹ́yìn but bàtà tó máa fi débẹ̀ bàtà máa fi débẹ̀ ṣá ó sì lajú ó dákú àwọn Yorùbá sọ pé gìrì wọ́n sọ pé gìrì ní kíní yẹn so mo ṣáà ní pé àwọn gbé lọ sí health center àjọ ìmúfà mi lọ health center yẹn mo ní kí wọ́n ṣe test fún pé mo fẹ́ mọ nǹkan tó ṣe àṣì test ní health center yẹn that's the local government Olúyọ̀lé local government ibẹ̀ gangan local government wà wọ́n ṣe test kì í ṣe proper test o just àwọn test tó máa gba ẹ̀jẹ̀ láti fíńgà ẹ̀ kékeré sí nǹkan wọ́n ní kò sí malaria lára ẹ̀ so mo ní kó má fún lábẹ́rẹ́ torí grip pé oògùn oníwọ̀nkọ oògùn ìwọ̀n lọ́ra so wọ́n á pe moxim láti Èkìtì pé ọmọ ẹ̀ ti dákú tó lé ní o pé ara ẹ̀ gbóná gan wọ́n á ní kí lọ́wọ́ àwọn kankan nǹkan yẹn wọ́n ṣe wá tó mọ̀ wá ní búkàkiri bí i jẹ́ rí ẹ̀yọ̀kan péré mo rí ewé aparun àwọn kan méjì tó kù wọ́n wá mi rí ibẹ̀ mo wà tó yẹ tó pè ń pé oye tún ṣe bí oye tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ oye tún ṣe o táìmù yẹn wọ́n ti lọ sí bíi 5 máa ní kó máa gbé lọ sí ìgboro that place mi kàn lè mọ iye kìlómítà ẹni bùsọ̀ at least èèyàn ṣàrìnrìn bíi 1 hour 30 minutes or 2 hours torí ó dọ̀pọ̀ wà lọ́nà everything so ó jìnnà gan sí Mọ̀lété ìyẹn Mọ̀lété ń bàdàn ni ọ mo ń kọ́ ní kó gbéyà sí health center ti state comment mo padà pé ó ní health center yìí pé wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n ti close ok mo ní kó máa gbé lọ private yẹn ibẹ̀ náà ló bí mo sí nígbà kan but by the time máa fi débẹ̀ wọ́n lọ ṣe test yẹn ni àwọn expect kó jáde ní ọmọ yẹn tún ṣe kíní yẹn wọn ni wọ́n á lọ sí di tó jẹ́ major build wọn pé mo lọ bá wọn pé where is doctor wọn ni pé doctor wọ́n kàn sí doctor kó tó kó bíìsì pé kíní kan mo ní mo fẹ́ rí doctor I want to talk to doctor wọ́n ní pé àwọn tó wà mẹ́rin náà máa tẹ́lẹ̀ sí mo ní no pé mo fẹ́ rí doctor gangan so títí mi ṣáà rí doctor mo ṣáà ní doctor ti prescribe pé wọ́n tó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tó máa ń ṣe before kí tó dé nígbà tó ń kọ́ gbọ́n mi wá mo ní kó máa gbé lọ pé òun bọ̀ wá bá so mo á ní òkè nígbà tí wọ́n ṣe kí ni wọ́n ti jẹ́ kí ìsọ̀tì ẹ̀ kú dẹ́kun jáde wọ́n ṣáà abẹ́rẹ́ wọn fún lábẹ́rẹ́ direct wọ́n bí drip wọ́n fún ní àwọn injection kan through drip so láti stop kìíní yẹn àṣà fi kìíní sẹ́nu ẹ̀ kó wọ́n torí wọ́n bá tutù àbí kó má bàa sọ́yìn kó wọ́n ṣáà di ọwọ́ ẹ̀ mú so mo kí ẹsẹ̀ mú so ìgbà tára ẹ̀ wá balẹ̀ díẹ̀ wọ́n á ní pé yes owó wa o owó test tó ń ṣe fún ìyàwó mi jẹ kọ́kọ́ mú yẹn lẹ̀ so mo ní ẹlò wà ní wọn ni wọ́n máa refer ẹ̀ pé wọ́n máa àbí wọ́n yẹn máa ń sọ́jà rẹ̀ àsìkò ó máa stay hospital pé because wọ́n fún drip wọ́n fún ní kínní pé doctor ní pé kò lè lọlé pé because wọ́n máa treat ẹ̀ wọ́n jí ni pé so pé wọ́n máa admit ẹ̀ so wọ́n á ní òkè pé owó mi tí mo máa san is 34,000 mo ní 34,000 kí wọ́n yìí fún pé nítorí ibi tó fẹ́ sùn àbí bẹ́ẹ̀dì tí wọ́n á fún ní 34,000 wọ́n ní òye ẹ̀ nìyẹn pé ókè mo níwẹ̀ẹ́ a lè gbé lọ lé ọ̀dọ̀ wá jìnnà nítorí mo kọ́kọ́ àwọn àbúrò pé there is another place tó mọ̀ tí mo lè ló mọ yẹn lọ wọ́n á ní ilẹ̀ ti ṣú mo ní òkè tí dọ́tọ̀ bá tẹ̀ dé àwọn dọ́tọ̀ tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ mẹ́rin sà àwọn dọ́tọ̀ láti usage ni o torí ìgbà tí mo tọ́ tó bí mo sí mẹ́mọ́ fi ní gbogbo àṣírí yẹn àwọn usage something ló ní hospital wọn yẹn so wọ́n á mú mi dé rúùmù tí ọmọ yẹn máa sùn mo bá ọmọ òbúkọ́kọ́ tó yẹ bí ń bẹ̀ sí point kan mo fẹ́ dùn bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ nìyẹn tẹ́lẹ̀ máa náà kí ni mo bá ọmọ òkúkọ́ kan bẹ̀ ọmọ tí mo bá ń bẹ̀ wọ́n ṣẹ̀ bí ọmọ yẹn wọ́n fi net bọ́ so wọ́n á wo ibi tí mo ní òkè bẹ́ẹ̀dì tí ọmọ yìí dà mo á rí bẹ́ẹ̀dì ọmọ kékeré náà ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n á pa ibo ni ìyá ẹ̀ fẹ́ sùn aláboyún nǹkan bó ló fẹ́ sùn kọ́ gbogbo ara ògiri kún fẹ́ jẹ àṣẹ bá mosquito báyà ìdún ni gbogbo ẹni wọ̀ wọ́n nígbẹ́ náà màṣá ìyàwó ọmọ mi kò lè sùn sí ìbàyí rárá pé kí nǹkan tó máa sọ 34,000 naira sí lélẹ̀ ṣé bí tó máa fẹ́ sùn lélẹ̀ so mo pa àtìsà lọ bá àwọn nọ́ọ̀sì yẹn pé you ask me to pay 34,000 naira pé ṣé kò possible kan treat ọmọ yẹn I want to see doctor pé wọ́n treat ọmọ yẹn so that kí n gbọ́ ọmọ yẹn lọ lé kó lọ sùn wọ́n á ní pé wọ́n lè gbé lọlé o pé wọ́n lè gbé lọlé because of that condition pé because kékeré yẹn bá ti wo orí ẹ̀ pé kò dáa so màá ní òkè wọn ò ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì ni wọ́n ní wọn ò ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì báwo ni hospital ṣe ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ wo gbogbo everything mo ní báwo ni hospital ṣe ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì tí wọ́n lọ sí ìwọ̀n ṣe wá ní building yẹn ibi níwọ̀n tó yẹ kọ́ yẹn á tó bí 3 floor 4 floor second floor ní lọ́ní kára space wọn ní òkè wọn ní private room wà sáà ọkọ̀ dùn gbé mistake tí mo ṣe gbogbo ara mo ṣe ń gbà ìjẹ́ kí n lè kámẹ́rà àwọn private room yẹn private room yẹn mo ní okay bed sheet everything kọ́ ìyẹn náà àwọn mo ní àwọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan mo ní pé private room tẹ́ tún mú wa lọ léèsì báyìí mo ṣẹ̀ wá sí léèsì ni mo ṣẹ̀ dé léèsì ni tí mo ń pè pé alpha àwọn onídọ́tò tó wọ̀ bọ́ tó pé tọ́lẹ̀tì bẹ̀rẹ̀ rùn pé dọ́tò yẹn jáde pé kàn go àwọn sáà kàn refer ẹ̀ sáà that place so ibi tí wọ́n refer sí náà débẹ̀ ni oníwòsàn fọ gbogbo tọ́lẹ̀tì yẹn for everything òun wá tì pa so wọ́n ní pé ní special àwọn private kid mo máa pé wọ́n máa stay sí yẹn pé màá sọ àwọn 10,000 mọ́wọ́ yẹn á jẹ́ 44,000 naira orí yẹn láṣà wà táṣà fà títí wẹ́ wọ́n á jókòó wọn ní pé ìwọ lọ́hùn tó tẹ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ mi wọ́n kọ́ wò pé torí tí wọ́n bá ṣe pé wọ́n ní àtẹ́ǹdìsì pé wọ́n ní àtẹ́ǹdìsì o pé kí n san half payment kí n ṣàṣàn kí n deposit ok 10,000 àbí 9,000 wà lọ́wọ́ mi mo wọkọ̀ débẹ̀ ó kù 8,000 mo kó 8,000 yẹn lẹ̀ mo tún àwọn àkáǹtì mi 90,000 kọ́ mo tún kó lẹ̀ ó jẹ́ 27,000 mo máa ń tún àti di ọ̀la wọ́n yàrá mi treat ọmọ yẹn kàrẹ̀ balẹ̀ mo wá pé wọ́n mi wọ́n náà ti bá mi wá gbogbo àwọn àgbo ilẹ̀ tútù àgbo grey everything wọ́n ló bá mi ṣe wọ́n á fi rán láti ṣe látẹ̀kìtì kí wọ́n á gbà lọ́la ṣe rí mo dẹ̀ jáde mo dẹ̀ wo àyíká mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ máa sọkún kò sí nǹkan tó pa mí lẹ́kùn o ju pé ṣé ayé ni a wá ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí pé ṣé ayé la wá ẹ̀ pé this is not life pé this is not life ibi tí mo ti wá kìlómítà yẹn á tó bí 200 and more than 200 kilometre síbi tí mo wá pé ibi tí no government wà pé kò sí standard hospital rẹ̀ tí èèyàn lè gbọ́mọ lọ nǹkan tó jáde ìgbìlọ̀ ìgbòho rẹ̀ pé tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ lóru nǹkan gbọ́dọ̀ fẹ́ gbéyà sí so wọ́n á ní pé irú ayé wo la wá ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pé ìyà ń jẹ wá o òbẹ̀ tí wọ́n á ronú sí so many things mo tún wá ronú sí pé nígbà tí a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé ká gbòmìnira people don't know let's say I didn't have anything bóyá láti àárọ̀ náà iṣẹ́ mo ṣe iṣẹ́ kan náà mo ṣiṣẹ́ mo fi rí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn kẹ́dà tí n bá rí kankan drop ṣé they will not wọn ní attend sọmọ yẹn káwọn many people tó yẹ pé they cannot avoid 1,000 naira ẹ̀wọ̀n ìyàwó tó ń kú pa ní èdè nítorí pé they can't avoid money láti take care ara wọn. mo dẹ̀ ń sọkún lálẹ́ pé àwọn ọmọ tàbí mo dẹ̀ ń in fact mo dẹ̀ torí mo lọ fẹ́ ra tíì tó máa mú gbogbo mọ̀lẹ́tẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ etí yẹn mo ní mo fẹ́ ro gbogbo náà ọ̀dọ̀ wa jìnnà sweet to kìjọ sweet tó yẹ pé èèyàn lè ro gbogbo náà báyà kọ́ wọ̀ mú gbogbo náà conscientiously nothing like that wọ́n á bẹ̀ sí rìn káàkiri ìgbà tí mi rẹ̀ ní tì wọ́n á lọ ra Hollandia yogurt coke àti biscuit gbogbo ẹ̀rọ kú sí bíi ṣé ẹlòmúra gbogbo owó yẹn ọdọ àbọ̀ lọ sí bíi 1,000 something ṣé ìjọba kò sí lọ́wọ́ máa sọ fún ìyá ẹ̀ pé àti délé because nǹkan tá a fi ṣiṣẹ́ kò sẹ́ni kiri dé owó dọ̀ lọ́lé torí àníná kí lè tọ ìbátà láti jáde gbogbo nǹkan tí mo fi ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń fún mi lọ́wọ́ so mo ṣe ìwọlé látàárọ̀ ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ torí ọ̀dọ̀ wa kan àti ilẹ̀ bá ti ṣú àárín mọ́tò àárín kiri mọ́ bàbá kan wá rí tí mo ní ọdún yìí báyìí mo ní owó tó kù sí lọ́wọ́ is 500 naira kó gbé mi yáà gbé mi kíjọ́ ṣọ̀mọ́ àfẹsẹ̀ délé ṣe rí tí àbá tí Yorùbá ní ṣọ̀gbà àwọn Yorùbá ó dàbí pé àwọn wá sí èèyàn kọ̀ kí ìgbà kéèyàn wá sáyé asọ́sá téèyàn kọ̀ wá sáyé pé jẹ́ kó ló bá wọn wo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láì nípa bí èjò tó kọjá lórí àpáta tó nípa ìyàwó ti jẹ àwọn èèyàn gan-an tí a bá yẹ ti gba Yorùbá nation ìyàwó jẹ wá gan-an ìyàwó jẹwà gọ̀ọ̀sà ìyàwó jẹwà gọ̀ọ̀sà. So if you don't have money òní lè jẹun. If you don't have money, if you sick gbà pé máa retí kú ni for what is happening life now in Nigeria. Ó ní èmi ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sílé ni mo fi ń sọ everything fún yín. Wọ́n á wò pé kí ló mú gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì tí ò sí dá standards ní ìṣiṣẹ́ ló gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ní ìṣiṣẹ́ gbogbo ìgbèríko everything kó wà ká gbọ́mọ lọ adé state hospital ní excellent àwọn tọ́wọ́kọ́ dé wọ́n ní kò wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ pé wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ tàbí wọ́n ti close ẹ̀bùn ti bá tiẹ̀ lọ. So that is my experience today o. Àgbẹ̀ àmúṣe àgbà fọmọ yẹn kí tó kúrò mbẹ̀ kọ́lọ́ máa mi dọ́wọ́ lé because wọn gbọ́ lóun nìkan ló lè bá mi wò sàn kọ́lọ́ máa mi dọ́wọ́ lé títí dàárọ̀ la kárẹ̀ wálẹ̀ kí lọ gba àgbo àwọn bá mi kọ́ láti Èkìtì kí bẹ̀ sí fún. So nǹkan tí mo rí mo ní kí n sọ fún yín nìyẹn o. Ìyà gidi là ń jẹ lé ìwé ìgbà Yorùbá lè ṣọlẹ̀ ọjọ́ láti kọ́ Yorùbá gan kí ó ti pẹ́ tí Yorùbá tí ìgbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ Ìgbòho gan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ tí mo ti rò pé kí lè píkópé ìgbà tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ mo tẹ̀lé Yorùbá orí ló dìbò family mi gan mo dẹ̀ wọ́n everybody should go out to go and vote kan ìyá mi kọ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi gbogbo wátá mo sọ fún nobody should go and vote ní ẹ̀rẹ́ tó kọjá ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ tó jáde lọ dìbò níwọ̀n àwọn àbúrò bàbá tá gbogbo àwọn àlẹ́ nobody lọ dìbò because gbogbo àmọ̀ pé àgbò òmìnira ibi tí ayé wa ti lè dá nìyẹn kì í ṣe òmìnira tó ń gbà tí ìyà ń já òyìn lálẹ́ ẹ̀sà oríṣiríṣi èmi kan tí mo tún wá tí mo wó kiri tí mo wá kiri àwọn mi wà kọ́nà tó wà ní kiri pé please can I see something for my child to eat tonight mo kàn wò pé ìwọ náà báwo ni fẹ́ ṣe mi ìdẹ́ni kankan lọ́wọ́ mọ́ ilé gan wo ewé tó wà mọ́ ọkọ̀ tọ́lọ́wọ́ gbówó yẹn gbé mi délé ni. lálẹ́ so many things is happening in Yoruba land we are suffering but àwọn leaders wa àwọn ọba kò sí ètò kàn wọ́n o kò sí ètò kàn wọ́n àdúrà tá a ń gbà everybody ń gbà kí èèyàn má sì kìíní bó ṣe wáyé má tẹ̀ sí kìíní má sì kìíní o àwọn téèyàn sì kí báyìí ó pa ènìyàn o tó wà ní backup owó tó máa lọ dálẹ̀ ní hospital olówó ló lọ hospital sí o.
That was sent on Tuesday. I didn't listen to that until yesterday because of the nature of my job and many voice notes on your man sent. I spoke to the father yesterday. The daughter is back, healthy, and we're grateful. How many people wants to continue to live in this denial? That is just one out of so many that is happening across the Yoruba world or Yoruba land today. Eje Kasari Kaile from African Confidential on the X space, formerly Twitter. He just posted it 8 minutes ago. It is one thing to respond decisively to unwarranted attacks and propaganda, which will make sense as a duty of every true nationalist. But it is another thing to channel one's entire energy into observed rants about perceived threat with obvious internal weakness. It's doing very well, but it doesn't get a lot of people that help him to retweet his post. And then the Twitter, àbí X, about our níbẹ̀. Simon Ekpa, before I go into the inflation, has become a big obstacle to the government. And whether they like it or not, they refuse to allow a proper dialogue between the Biafra and Tinubu government. Tinubu wants to prove himself as well that who the hell are these Biafrans? And we will deal with them decisively. Oh my God. The 2024, as we go into it, will be very, very interesting time. Baba mi Oluwafemi sọ pé, and as a matter of fact, I'm not sure we are ready for actualization of Yoruba nation to be candid. Let me go on to the page of Simon, and let me just give you some of the things that he has posted within the last probably 24 hours. In the Nigerian military, they are now saying that it seems that Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafra government in exile, is being sponsored by some nation. Wow, interesting time ahead. One hour we look on long sponsor Simon Ekpa. Five hours ago, he posted and it goes like this. This coming week is the week of Ghost Angel, the angel that will go around enemy bases. He went further. This one, because I'm on Twitter, lórí phone, so I'm trying to see how do I get this video. So what I should do is copy the link, because it's about play, not platforms you by your nigbo. And I think what I should do is let me post it in my Facebook and then pick it up from this phone through the browser. Interesting time ahead. Interesting time ahead. So you can play in the Nigerian military. So, Tosonipa Simon Ekpa. Within the last, let me refresh again. We are now 4:22 a.m. I'll see how far I can go, but okay, let's click on this and see if it takes me through just the browser. Accept cookies. Unload lower. Ejagbon ti Nigeria amiso nípa Simon Ekpa.
Expose all those ones doing those things, especially people like Simon Ekpa. He's sitting down there in comfort. Some countries are encouraging him to do what he's doing to Nigeria, and we are here supporting him. So people must desist. We must call what is wrong wrong.
So see, I'm in Sofemi came desist from encouraging Simon Ekpa, but we should encourage the military as they continue to bomb innocent people in Kaduna and committing genocide in the southeast, allowing Fulani terrorists to continue to invade our land, killing our economy. As I speak to us today, Nigeria inflation otilosoke from 27.33 in October, olosoke by 28.20. One, that is the highest in the last 20 years. Kama encourage Simon Ekpa, kaye sọ̀rọ̀ Simon Ekpa, ìyẹn military yìí, ẹmọ Simon Ekpa fi dàlú máa play video nítorí Simon Ekpa ni everything they accuse you is what they are doing. He said we are not human beings. Expose
all those ones doing those things, especially people like Simon Ekpa. He's sitting down there in comfort. Some countries are encouraging him to do what he's doing to Nigeria, and we are here supporting him. So people must desist. We must call what is wrong wrong. But I know that we're taking efforts to ensure that we secure the whole of Southeast, and we'll continue to do that. We regret the souls have been lost. If you see the way they have killed, these guys are not human beings. They are eating flesh.
ẹ̀wọ̀n tó ń sọ fún yín mẹ́rin pé rẹ́rẹ́ ti ń rún ní òkè ọya lọ́hùn lọ́dọ̀ tàwọn ti Simon. Only these people they are not human beings, they are eating flesh. That means pé nǹkan ti ń kanra lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ra wọn.
We have seen them doing cannibalization. We have seen them doing cultism and all these things. So it is.
Gbogbo ẹ̀ ló náà wọ́n Simon Ekpa ń ṣe. If we do not want things to go much more worse, it is time that Bola Tinubu engage with the Biafra. If you don't engage with them, whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen. So let's read more from Simon again. They continue to raise money all the time. They're doing fundraising. Almost every weekend, on raise owó. Again, I'm sure some of you have seen another headline from Sahara Reporter. Jega, not Jega, the former INEC chairman, Atairu Jega. I'm sure a lot of you remember that guy. Nigeria is a failing state, and if we don't act, the worst will happen. Shari Yoruba people, and fake bow titomora, especially to Ben Yami Comfort Grandma Adele Oni Oma Sheo, She Ilu Tafe Duro Si Lele. I'm sure in response to VN brother Mitzi Omawani a bit of health issue. Kolomba Eledumare Komafia Ison Kokon de Mole. Things are getting worse in that contraction. Atairu Jega Oni Nigeria is a failing state. Simon Ekpa wa ṣe laugh emoji 11 hours ago. No, talẹ̀yìn dúró de kò sọ fún pé Nigeria is a failing state. I'm still wondering, those are the Yoruba people are waiting for. Who are you waiting for to tell you that Nigeria is a failed state? We have told you that in some of our previous broadcasts. Google it. There's a particular man that we use there. Nigeria is a failed nation or country, whatever. I'm sure, yeah. Okay, I picked up something. 2021. We've talked about this so many times. But let's go back to, this is coming from the foreign policy. Okay, I've did a full program. Around platforms where I know we've done a lot of videos, and like I always say, all my videos, because they come on YouTube, they come on Facebook. I download my videos out and I do a backup because I don't trust all these platforms. Into a proper TV series. Nígbà tá bá ti settle down, àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gé a series, àyàn wà lórí platform tiwa. Èmi kàn mọ̀ ní YouTube. Tí YouTube bá gbé channel mi wálẹ̀, I lose every of my content. So it's just an advice for some of you out there that are thinking maybe you're gonna do what we are doing, or you're doing something else. Don't keep all your videos on. You work on O'Neill, Moke, Mr. Perry. Make sure you pull Moke Kunle Bakers, and K Money, and the rest of you on Instagram and TikTok and wherever you've joined us. So I make sure that I save and I back up all my videos, because I want the next generation to see every one of us. They will watch it, they will read your comment, and they'll be excited that we did it. It might not be straight away as we want it now, but Nigeria is going to break. Because Bawa Shenso, Lamunon so indirectly. Let me see if I can bring the the full article. Jega Atairu Onile. So the news from Sahara Reporter. Okay, if you trust the Sahara Reporter, check out Kalatari channels. I think we love Channels Television. All right, check out Kalatari Channels Television. Mr. Oluwafemi Agbola, Mr. Koiki, there is no devil anywhere. Bola Tinubu is the real image of devil on our case in Yoruba Nation. Otelo advantage wani. I don't think many people know. It used the advantage of Yoruba Nation to get to where he is. But I'll not go further because, like I said, at least immediately then momenti Kuba Baye Yesofunwa privately, our meta no lawambe pẹ̀lú CSI. Nigeria is a failing state. Ntí Jega ń sọ fún yín. Koikimedia má ti sọ as far back as 3 years ago lábẹ́ àṣẹ tí olóyè Ìgbòho àti bàbá Akíntóyè tó ní ká máa fi lọ bá ọmọ Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ pé a ti wà nínú oko grandma mi kan mo ní a ti wọ 1 chance grandma yẹn nínú a ti wà ní half chance kò pé one mọ́ grandma yẹn wá ilé làwọn wà wọ́n ní access láti padà wá sí UK wọ́n ní level 14 lọ́kàn wọn ti retire nínú water tó ti ṣiṣẹ́. If you wanted to be corrupt, àwọn àti lówó rẹpẹtẹ 21,000 lọ́nà kan wọ́n ń gbà fún pension. Wọ́n náà wọ́n ṣe full retirement 8,000 naira lọ́n fáwọn. Wọ́n ní but àwọn wà comfortable bí àwọn àgbẹ̀ ọláwọn ọmọ tó dúró dáadáa. Wọ́n ní ọ̀dà wọ́n sọ wọ́n ní Koiki ló ní less ló fi ṣàwọn léṣe sínú ilé gbàtẹ́ bá àwọn grandchildren ní wálé. Tábàtẹ̀ máa wá náà kọ́ free Christmas wọ́n tó ti sá padà. So we have people that are living, and around the world like that. Ìyàwó wà níbì kan, ọkọ wà nílé. We are not living a proper life. Ẹ̀kan ló pa àwọn táwa lábroad náà, we are comfortable. Àwa náà áyùn lè ń ṣe wá, but tá a bá wo gbogbo tó ń lọ nílé. Okay, tí bá wà nílé nísìnyí, tíyàn bá sick, ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀ka sick. Tí mo dẹ̀ wà popular bí ṣe wà popular yìí, tí mo kọ̀ jẹ́ lé màá bí irú brother wa yẹn, à ń gbé mi lọ sí hospital kan. Gbogbo tó narrate lẹ́ẹ̀kan. So there's so much pressure. But àwọn kan ní Tinubu ti débẹ̀ ó máa stabilize the economy in Nigeria. Ẹja àgbọn tí Jega sọ. This is Channels Television and I'm going to share the link because ẹ̀yin lè má láǹfààní àti fi lọ wò link yẹn ni mo fẹ́ jù wá. Ẹ tó bá follow backup channel wa à ń bẹ̀ wá ní gbogbo gbà but it seems that àwọn èèyàn wa wọ̀ bí I get message yẹn. So link backup channel wa máa fi sórí YouTube Koikimedia nísìn ẹ bá wa gbọ́wọ́lé nísìn ẹ gbọ́wọ́lé mo fẹ́ make sure pa increase yẹn ó increase tó bá jẹ́ pé máa draw another 1 hour a gbọ́dọ̀ kúrò lórí 650 lálẹ́ ó gbọ́dọ̀ dé 1,000 kóṣù tó parí lágbára Ọlọ́run. So link yẹn ni wọ́n ti fi sórí orí ti Koikimedia èmi náà ni mo wò báyìí nísìn náà wà nínú ẹ gbọ́wọ́lé ẹ click lé lórí ìtẹ́ àìwò náà lẹ́nu máa wò mo wà báyìí live ẹ bá wa gbọ́wọ́lé fẹ́ẹ̀ dá wa on live ni o ẹni tó bá sí live mo mọ̀ bí àwọn máa lè rí bọ̀tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá ti rí ẹ lọ sórí WD76 ẹ click lé lórí ẹ tẹ́ wa lórí Facebook náà ẹ click lé lórí kẹ́ padà sórí Facebook because sometimes àwọn kan ní Facebook wà cheaper fún wọn láti fi gbọ́ ẹ bá wa click lé lórí ẹ lọ subscribe because that is the only way you can help the platform. Mo kí ìyá mi Tóyìn dáadáa wọ́n ní brother Koiki things are bad on Nigeria. I just came back. We are in soup. May God bring us out so that they won't eat also. Hey, àwọn ìyá mi tó ṣe lọ sílé tó ṣe dé lọ sọ fún wọn yẹn pé Mr. Koiki bí wọ́n ṣe ń sọ yìí àwọn ṣe dé ní o nǹkan ti bad gan rẹpẹtẹ o. So kọlọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ dùmarè kó wá pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn wa o. Ẹja gbọ́n kan tí Atairu Jega sọ Samonepa wa fi ń rẹ́rìn pé ṣèbí kan tá à ń sọ fáwọn Biafra nìyẹn àwọn tá à ń sọ fáwọn Odùduwà nìyẹn àwọn máa ń láìka pé wà ní Odùduwà Republic and it doesn't matter what name we're using right now tàbá decide pé a fẹ́ lo Yorùbá nation we can use Odùduwà Republic we can use Yorùbá Kingdom ìyẹn after tí a bá ti fẹ́ dé final destination but ẹ máa kí ọ̀kan rẹ̀ pé ẹ̀kan waste time ara yín Nàìjíríà ò ní pín ẹ̀jàgbọ́n ti Atairu Jega the former INEC chairman ẹ̀jàgbọ́n tó sọ This is Channels Television, posted yesterday, and it goes like this. Nigeria is a failing state. Jega calls for restructuring before 2027. Mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo tá à ń sọ yìí náà wàláì tàláì sọmọ́bìláì làzíláhùwà ní ti Jésù Kristi àti tàwọn onílẹ̀ wa. Tẹ́lẹ̀kṣọ̀n bá tó dé nísìn àwọn Yorùbá tó máa lọ náà fi vote. Tẹ́lẹ̀kṣọ̀n bá dé lọ́la nísìn lọ́la yìí, which is just 3 years from now, because 1 year ti tán nínú ìjọba Tinubu báyìí ó kọ ọdún mẹ́ta. Tẹ́lẹ̀kṣọ̀n bá tó dé ní 2027 because wọ́n ní òṣèlú la máa ń ṣe nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, but òṣèlú gbẹ̀gìrì àtẹ̀bà tí clinic Ṣèyí Mákindé máa ná wọn ní owó láti fi ṣe gbogbo hospital ní Ọ̀yọ́ state. Akérédolú nísìnyí ti sá lọ Germany nísìnyí wọ́n tẹ̀ send image kan sí mi ìbámu lè verify ẹ̀ wọ́n ní kò lè sọ̀rọ̀ dáadáa. I can't verify it. Èèyàn kan send image ẹ̀ kan sí mi ẹ̀mú wọ́n dẹ̀ lè ṣe cropping wọ́n lè ṣe photoshoot kọ́lọ̀ fún lálàáfíà, but tábà ní kọ́lọ̀ fún lálàáfíà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílùú Oǹdó ńkọ́ ṣẹ́yìn ò ní lálàáfíà. Mo kí àwa comfort ológun jà àti sister mi gbé mi lékè àti gbogbo èèyàn Oǹdó state. So why are we living in denial? Tẹ́ election bá dé nísìn lára àwọn tó ń gbọ́ wa mi nísìn gọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ àwọn náà tún ní ọmọ ìdíṣẹ́ ìdíbẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ààrẹ dìbò fún Tinubu again á ṣe èyí tí gbogbo ọmọ ní no more election. Àwọ̀ ìtí lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ campaign no more election nísìn campaign Yorùbá nation dágbé dání nísìn làwa ṣì máa stick lé lórí, because nígbà tí mo jáde tí mo ní ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe election 2023 gbogbo ilẹ̀ fẹ́ bómi pa. Ẹni election la máa ṣe, election ni the right thing, àti ṣe election tán nísìn gbogbo àtijọ́ ṣe election tán nísìn. What has been the outcome? It is all lies. Yes, in the government àwọn kan máa jẹ àwọn kan ò ní jẹ ní. So lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn àwọn kan ń jẹ lọ́wọ́ Tinubu bí ìjọba ṣe rí nìyẹn, but the majority are not having great time. Ṣé jẹ́ ká ká tí kùn yẹn díẹ̀. Àtàírù Jẹ̀gá gbogbo ilẹ̀ ṣàmọ́ ó wá ní tá a bá restructure Nigeria by 2027 ó ṣeé ṣe kí wàhálà wà o. Àwọn Biafra tẹ̀lé dúró dè yẹn because they keep pushing. So ṣé n tó ń sọ nísìnyí ni pé ẹ máa ṣe kéèsì Nnamdi Kanu up to 2027. What is the offence of Nnamdi Kanu? Thank you so much, Mrs. Florence, for liking the video. Share it, help us to bring more people in. He insisted that Nigeria will be considered a failed state. Oh, ṣé Jẹ̀gá ṣe mọ̀ pé Nigeria is a failed state? Nigeria is already a Titanic that has sunk. Thank you so much, Mrs. Florence. Thank you for liking the video. So Jẹ̀gá is just telling you and me that he insisted that Nigeria will be considered. Look, as far back as 2021, the next article I'm going to read, according to the foreignpolicy.com, Nigeria is a failed state. The first step to restoring stability and security is recognizing that the government has lost control. This is by Robert I. Rothberg, the founding director of Harvard Kennedy School Program on Intrastate Conflict and President Emeritus of the World Peace Foundation, John Campbell, a senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations and a former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria. So if anybody is telling you that Nigeria is a failed state, it has been failed for a very long time. This was an article on the 27th of May 2021. Nigeria has long teetered on the precipice of failure. Meaning precipice. So let's go and find out the meaning of
precipice.
What is the meaning of
Precipice.
Precipice. A very steep rock face or cliff, especially at the tail one. What does the mean? What does
precipice?
What does it mean? If you say that someone is on the edge of precipice, Nigeria has been at the edge, is a ticking time bomb that is about to go off. Ìyàwó Olúrẹ̀mí Kílàńkọ́ Gàbí sọ pé, so Tairu Jega is now confirming that Nigeria is a joke. The same thing that we have been talking about, all the medias have been talking about, even Nigerians have been talking about it, but they are saying it's leadership problem. It is not a leadership problem. Oh, Jega is just looking for a ministerial position, Mr. Dekunle Oguns. So what is the meaning of
precipice?
Nigeria is currently on
Precipice.
You mean that they are in a dangerous situation in which they are extremely close to disaster or failure. So Nigeria is close to disaster. Mr. David Adegoke. Ebenezer Bitoye. Yoruba people ready for Yoruba nation. Seriously, Yoruba nation must stand by the grace of God. Nigeria, according to the meaning of
precipice,
is currently a dangerous situation in which it is extremely close to disaster or failure. The king now stands at the brink of a political precipice. So Nigeria is standing on a very dangerous disaster. And that is why Tairu Jega, China's television, says Nigeria is a failing state. Failing, F-A-I-L-I-N-G, state. Jega is now calling for the restructuring of Nigeria before 2027. But I'm now taking us back to another article that came out on the May 27, 2021, that says Nigeria is long theta for a precipice, which we just give you the meaning of failure, but now unable to keep its citizens safe and secure. The question again is, can Bola Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, keep you safe in today's Nigeria? If he can keep us safe, it's been there for 6 months. Bola Tinubu should be giving orders, and if they're not listening to that order, it should not just remove people, it should put them in the prison. Professor Moyo Okediji traveled from Ghana, no problem. Togo, no problem. Benin Republic, no problem. Getting into his father's land, called Nigeria, there was problem. And by the time he left the borderline, getting into Lagos, Lagos State, he was saved by the Igbos. We might hate them, we might like them, we might dislike them. We could have been talking about a dead man right now if the Igbos did not intervene within a country called Nigeria that could not secure Professor Moyo Okediji in Lagos State. This was December 12. This is not last year. This happened this year in Festac. So in 2021, the same thing that I have talked about, Professor Moyo Okediji have now faced the consequence of unsecure country that is going into precipice. Because what in talk in Nigeria, what in one, he saw what Nigeria is all about. It might be no six like it seems like you are not really seeing my face, innit? I must say in it, but I'm not loading in it. So I can move it there because it seems like you're struggling to see me. So okay, go. Okay, I think I need a bit of movement a little bit, so I can move a little. So when we sit here, spending hours and hours, we are not joking here. We are reminding you that Atemi, we are all in danger in the shit hole country. Thank you, Nigeria. Koiki, stop talking down Nigeria. Lórí TikTok àbí sùnà orí Twitter. Ó ní èmi ò rí news tó dá mọ́ wá láti Nàìjíríà wèrè. ọmọ àlè. Mo mọ news tó dáa tí mo fẹ́ mú wá láti Nàìjíríà tí mo rí. Tí bá rí good news mo ṣe ní mú wá. Ní Ìbàdàn níjẹta àwọn ọmọ mi tó wà ní Ìbàdàn coverage tó ṣe ẹ wo trailer tó ti yapa. Tó bá jẹ́ pé trailer yẹn go through rigorous MOT tó jẹ́ kó wà lójú títì kó máa pààyàn. Àdẹ̀dúpẹ́ kókò mẹ́mi lọ. You this platform you never bring good news. Mo mọ good news tí Nàìjíríà fi fún mi. Let's go back again and read. I'm still feeling very strong. Mo ti sùn there, so even if I have to do over 3 hours more, 3 times to listen. Ìwọ máa wò mí kó máa sọ pé Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó kémi rí àkọ́bá àdábà o. Èmi náà ń gbàdúrà bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá ti wọlé dé àjọ máa fi ṣe program ni. Èmi náà ní family nílé, mò ń advice wọn, mò ń warn wọn. Tó bá listen, tó bá listen. Nigeria cannot protect its citizen. This was 2021. Kí ni Ìgbòho ń pariwo fún? Kò sí ètò ààbò. Kí ni bàbá wa General Trustina bàbá wa sọ níjọ́ Jímọ̀? Wọ́n ní kò sí ètò tó pé mọ́. Wọ́n ní 24 years ago làwọn ti notice ẹ̀. Èyí táwa tẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n á rí nísinsìnyí. We all love to live in denial. Mo kí gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa títí di wákàtí. Nothing comes easy. Ìyẹn á máa ń ṣe gbogbo eléyìí kan á sọ pé wọ́n opportunist wọn nínú Yorùbá nation. Àìsàn là ń ṣe ìnà. Táwọn church yìí bá ń ṣàìsàn ẹ̀ ń dáwó síbẹ̀ ni. Tí mọ́ṣáláṣí bá ń ṣàìsàn ẹ̀ ń dáwó síbẹ̀. Ìyẹn kan wọ́n ń ṣàìsàn nísìn. Àwa ní ẹ fún wa lówó ẹ bá wa dá sí. Ìyẹn kan wọ́n ní wọ́n fi ń ṣe opportunist. Ṣé eléyìí tí mò ń ṣe àti tí church ń ṣe kí ni ìyàtọ̀ méjèèjì? Nonsense people. Bá ti sọ yẹn kẹ́ lọ jókòó kẹ́ lọ máa ṣiṣẹ́ yín kẹ́ ra kúrò nínú Yorùbá nation kẹ́ fà wá tá a ṣiṣẹ́ lọ. Ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe business ẹ lọ ṣòwò yín. Ẹ wá máa bí wá ẹ̀kọ́ ìkí ni mí nínú Yorùbá nation kí ni self determination kí ni gbogbo jágbàjàgbà yẹn. Ẹ bá wá mí ní self determination ẹ lọ sórí website wa ẹ bá níbẹ̀. Ẹ má bínú pé mò ń ṣọ́ọ̀tì gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ mo kàn mọ́ because mo ti bá ṣe wá sí mind mo ṣe rántí gbogbo kan ló wà lórí website wa. The United Nations Declaration on the Right of the Indigenous People ó wà níbẹ̀. A full 32-page article. The Indigenous Peoples and the United Nations Human Rights ó wà níbẹ̀. 50-page ni ẹ lọ kà. Intersend sí ICC tàfi gbé Buhari lọ confirmation of the receipt ní 2021 July ó wà níbẹ̀. Dear Sir or Madam, the Office of the Prosecutor of International Criminal Court acknowledge the receipt of your document and letter. This communication has been duly entered in another 10 years. Wọ́n lè má gbé kéèsì yẹn jáde. Another 10 years. Mo kí bàbá testimony Ògúntọ́nà. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀tẹ́ ń bá wa dá sí ní gbogbo àtàbá pè yìí. Ọlọ́run máa bùkún fẹ́yìn. Kí ẹ̀kan máa discourage pé Yorùbá nation opportunist ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé bí wàá jẹ́gẹ́ bí ṣé country làwọn ti wá ní country? Yes, definitely àwọn kan máa take as an advantage. But àwọn táwa ń ṣiṣẹ́ back to back. Ẹ ṣe ìyàlá lùbáríkà fún wa ní super chat. Òkè fi pè wọlé. Fóònù àyẹ̀wò wà on. Gbàtà tẹ̀ fi tá mo ti ní pẹ̀lọpẹ̀ ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ òun ló tún mú fóònù kan fún mi pé bí ṣe ń pariwo pé mo nídìí fóònù yẹn kò tẹ́wọ̀n lọ́rùn òun wà á pè ìyá mi ti fún mi ní fóònù kan ti gba fóònù kan lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ṣe tó bá fẹ́ pè wọlé láìní wà open ẹ lè pè wọlé gbogbo náà ni mo nọ́mbà yẹn tẹ́bà wá mo nọ́mbà yẹn náà ni ọkọ̀ ẹ̀ pé +44 74 044 05 917 kóòdù UK nìyẹn +44 74 04 405 917 ẹlòmíràn ní Koiki ò ṣe fi sórí screen yes a máa ń post ẹ̀ sórí screen but a lè pin ẹ̀ mo tẹ̀ lè pin ẹ̀ but I'm sure everybody knows the number so tẹ́ni tó bá fẹ́ dá sí the line is still well open so ẹni tó bá rò pé a ṣe paperwork náà ni pé kíyàn gbé ebi mo ti sọ fún yín láti beginning náà èmi náà múná dá mi dúró nílùú yìí ní some point tí bá travel tí bá ń padà bọ̀ mo kí ẹ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa Azeez ní Houston kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ tẹ́ bá fẹ́ pè wọlé wọ́n ní ẹni mo sàn ẹ so tẹ́ bá ti kọ nọ́mbà yẹn síta +44 74 04 405 917 Yorùbá Nation Moki Movement. So mo ní èmi náà mo wá make enquiry pé kí ló dé tẹ̀ ń dá mi dúró fún wọ́dẹ̀ ti yọ now a ní a submit a lọ rìpọ́ọ̀tì Buhari àti gbogbo àwọn tó fẹ́ ṣe jàǹbá fún wa a gbé wọn lọ sí ICC ẹ rò pé nǹkan tó ń yá ni ICC ń ṣe nǹkan tó ń yá ọdún mẹ́wàá nísìnyí wọ́n lè má ti gbé kéèsì yẹn jáde because wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ wá ṣe investigation ẹ̀ wọ́n kọ̀ sọ pé yes àwọn ti gbà wọlé o and that is all so àwa la máa ṣe continuity ìyẹn la ṣe ń link gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tá à ń sọ ẹ̀ là ń link ẹ̀ mọ́ra wọn ẹ jẹ́ ká ka article yẹn díẹ̀ sí tó jáde ní 2021 Nigeria is a failed state àìtáírù jẹ̀gáṣẹ́ wọn sọ fún mi ní 2023 pé tá ò bá restructure Nigeria by 2027 ìgbà tó fẹ́ kanlẹ̀ tí gbogbo ẹ̀ máa kanlẹ̀ ní gbogbo ọ̀ tí mọ̀ but the more táwa bá ń fi tá à ń fi náà mọ́ tá à jẹ́ kó sú wa tá à jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ wá tá à ń jáde ní gbogbo gbà tá à dẹ̀ wà distracted ọ̀rọ̀ Mohbad kíní kàn mí pẹ́ lọ́rọ̀ Mohbad mo sorry kíní kàn mí pẹ́ lọ́rọ̀ Mohbad because èmi gan need the justice fúnra mi ẹni kí n máa wá justice fún Mohbad ìwọ tí wà justice fún family ẹ ní Nàìjíríà because Nàìjíríà ti affect the family mi tí mo ń try láti wá justice fún wọn àwa tá a ṣe wà láyé ká kọ́kọ́ wá justice fúnra wa náà ẹni àwa justice fún Mohbad justice tẹ́ ẹ̀ lè rí so ìjà tí gbogbo wọn ń jà yẹn ìjà tó yẹ kí gbogbo àjọ jà lélẹ̀ pé kí gbogbo àjọ wá justice fúnra wa ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà because the system is just so corrupt and it's a system that is not designed to work in the first place. So let's go further and read. Kilo today, violation for Kini. Your life is flagged for personal information. O ti gbọ́ Mohbad, ẹ̀rí náà. So Mohbad mo dárúkọ nísìnyí ló ṣe ń flag mi. TikTok, orí òpè. Ṣe personal information ni Mohbad. Kò ṣe public conversation. Continue, Jerry. So, Nigeria has become a fully failed state of a critical geopolitical concern. Mo dúpẹ́ fún ìyá wa fún super chat ẹ̀ fún wa. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ fún wa super chat ẹ máa lọ sórí backup channel wa ibẹ̀lẹ̀ ti lè fún wa àbí kẹ́ send owó sínú àwọn platforms wa tẹ̀ mọ́. And it's voluntary. It is failure. At least ẹ bá tẹ̀ fún wa náà ẹ fi ń ṣe encouragement náà ni àdẹ̀ǹdúpẹ́ fún yín náà bẹ́ ṣe fún wa àdẹ̀mọ́ lórí. It is a failure matters because the peace and prosperity of Africa and preventing the spread of disorder and militancy around the globe depend on a stronger Nigeria. Its economic is usually estimated to be the Africa's largest or second largest after South Africa. Long West Africa hegemon. Nigeria played a positive role in promoting African peace and security. With the state failure, it can no longer sustain that vocation. In terms of way, Nigeria ò sí lábẹ́ àwùjọ kankan tó respect mu. So ìwọ ṣì wà níbẹ̀ tó ń sọ pé Nigeria, the most populous black nation, lost South Africa kò lọ sọ pé you're in Nigeria. Wá gba etí ẹ̀. Kenya is going to start giving visa free. We need more investors, need more people. Nigeria ò lè kóyàn kankan wá because the economy is going down. Let's go further. After we're almost 5 or 6 minutes before 5. We see how far more we can go. Mama Pati Shea close to 3 hours already. After we're 2 hours 51 minutes. Lórí program tá à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí. Mo kíyà mi Tóyìn Dàda lẹ́ǹkan sí Ajayi. Wọ́n ní gradually we are moving there. People are so tired. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, may God help them to sọ̀rọ̀ sókè kíákíá. ìjáyàjáyà mo rẹ́ gbọ́n mi látẹ̀kọ́ ẹ má bínú mo ṣe ń rí kọ́mẹ́ǹtì 36 bí ẹ ṣe darapọ̀ mọ́ mi ni ẹ jẹ́ ń pín ọ̀rọ̀ yín mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Nigeria is done for real and nobody can fix it. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìtẹ̀sẹ̀ ń jí ní Nàìjíríà wọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí kírun àsùbá nísìn Ọlọ́run àgbà àwọn tá a lè lọ sí church náà láàárọ̀ yìí Ọlọ́run àgbàdúrà wa kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lẹ́ sìn ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń fà yìí. So let's go further again. Its security challenges are already destabilizing the West African region, and no placement is inside. Its security challenges are already destabilizing the West African region in the face of the resurgent jihadism, making the battles of the Sahel that much more difficult to contain. Ìyẹn ni Awùjalẹ̀ wá lọ fi Boko Haram fi jẹ oyè Gbọ̀bániyì of Yorùbá land. Oyè tán ní wọ̀ oyè yẹn wọ́n ti jẹ́rìí o because ó dà pé bí ṣe program yẹn láàárọ̀ àwọn kan mix ẹ̀ up mo kí bàbá wa Kọ́lé Ṣítà. Èyí tí mò ń sọ ni pé El-Rufai ló máa kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ ní outside tí Kúnlé ti dé òun máa fún mi lówó nítorí kan tẹ̀ Ọlọ́run máa bọ̀ àṣírí ẹ̀ kò ní tán níbẹ̀ láéláé. Thank you so much my brother. Èyí tí mo sọ ni pé oyè yẹn wọ́n ti fi ń jẹ́ fáwọn aráàlú àtàwọn Yorùbá but it's going to be the first time tó máa fi jẹ́ fún outsider ẹni tó ń ṣọmọ Yorùbá in the 64 years tí Awùjalẹ̀ ti wà lórí oyè and Awùjalẹ̀ became Awùjalẹ̀ I think in the 60s bá ṣe gbọ́ láàárọ̀ tá a ṣe program ìyẹn lánàá rather. Thanks so much Kunle Bakers for the super chat. I will appreciate it so much. At least báwọn kan tó ń jẹ́ káwa náà máa ní encouragement ní ẹ̀ bá tẹ̀ sùn tó bá mọ̀ pé bá tẹ̀ wá ṣe program wà rí díẹ̀ náà jà kó tó máa lọ sùn ní ẹ̀ bá ṣàlọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ wá sanwó fún yàn. A lè tó wà lórí program láti 3 hours so £30 nìyẹn tí bá yẹ pé mo wà níbi iṣẹ́ àwọn kan wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ nísìn tẹ́yìn náà ti lọ ṣiṣẹ́ wọn náà fún àrùn àlàáfíà. So what I'm just trying to say is that there are 4 kinds of nations: the strong, the weak, the failed, and the collapsed. Gbogbo ẹni Nàìjíríà ní lọ́wọ́. Nàìjíríà ò strong mọ́ bí ti tẹ́lẹ̀. Tó bá ṣe ń tàn ẹ́ pé Nàìjíríà is strong, kò sí nǹkan kan tó strong mọ́. Bí a nígbà kan rí o, yes, Nàìjíríà náà strong. Tó bá wá London, wọ́n máa lo visa fún ẹlẹ́nu ọ̀nà ni nígbà tí nǹkan ṣì ń lọ. But as we speak today, there are 4 kinds of nations. Èwo ni wọ́n fẹ́ ń bẹ̀? Do you want to be in the strong nation? Do you want to be in the weak nation? Or do you want to be in the collapsed nation? Presently, right now, Baba wa Kambi Moshoni, already Nigeria has been collapsed. Could they say any remedy for? So Bọ́lá Tinubu wá ń try pé òun fẹ́ wá remedy fún àwa ọ̀hẹ́tẹ̀ àgbàdúrà kọ́dọ̀ máa fún ní ẹ̀mí gúngùn but remedy tó fẹ́ wá yẹn àfẹ́rí kọ́dọ̀ fi ṣe ẹ̀ṣọ́ gbogbo wa. Bọ́lá Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ ó ti ń prepare El-Rufai fún yín tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ by 2031 ìyẹn ló ṣe lọ sọ fún ọba Awùjalẹ̀ pé kó fi El-Rufai jẹ Gbọ̀bániyì so that it will look like pé a ní good relationship pẹ̀lú àwọn náà. Ṣé ẹ ká ní relationship pẹ̀lú Boko Haram? According to the previously published research, estimated of the 193 members of the United Nations, 60 or 70 of them are strong. Adéwálé Olówu wọ́n ní Chief Tinubu is a criminal. Àwọn lọ́kọ́ and any right láti kà síta. Ìwà yóò ṣe military platform. Ìtí ọba kọ ìtọ́ fi lọ́kàn wọn nìyẹn. No institution is working in Nigeria. Ìbúdó ti fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ institution o. 60 to 70 countries are strong. The nations that rank highest in the listing of Freedom House, the Human Rights Report of the U.S. State Department, the Anti-Corruption Perception Indices of Transparency International and so on. There are 3 places that should be considered collapse. That is Somalia, South Sudan, and Yemen. Nigeria will be listed in in the next few years to come, even though it's collapsed already. 80 or 90 United Nations members are weak. Weakness consists of providing many, but not all of the essential public goods, the most important of which are security and safety. Nigeria cannot provide safety and security for any one of us. We all just wake up and we just pray that nothing happens to us. If citizens are not secure from harm within national borders, government cannot deliver good governance. The essential services that the citizens expect to their constituency. This is very, very important. I'm going to read that again. Màdé wo bí ṣe lè ṣàyàn gbé fún ẹ ní Yorùbá tí aráàlú tí wọ́n bá lè fún yín ní ààbò látara àwọn darandaran àtàwọn tó jẹ́ economic sabotage, because a kò máa ń sọ pé Fúlàní nìkan, they are also economic sabotage, because wọ́n ìtẹ́ bá dúró sí borderline tí border yín ò ṣiṣẹ́, economic sabotage máa wọlé within the national borders. Bí ó ṣe affect bàbá wa Professor Moyo Okedeji, that is the border yẹn láti secure, kò ń ṣe pé kó máa extort owó lọ́wọ́ aráàlú tó jọ mọ̀ ìlú. Now imagine tó bá jẹ́ pé Professor Moyo Okedeji, tó bá jẹ́ pé ọ̀daràn tó fẹ́ wọlé náà ni tó ń gbé nǹkan bọ̀, bó ṣe máa jẹ́ kó wọlé náà nìyẹn after tó bá ti gbọ́wọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Mo kí ẹ easy, ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, mo ti kí ẹ dáadáa síwájú. Kò sí bí ìjọba náà ṣe fẹ́ deliver ètò ààbò fún wa. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ ẹ gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. This is 2021. Jẹ̀gáṣẹ́ wa ń sọ fẹ́mi àti yín pé Nàìjíríà wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ restructure by 2023. Òun náà tún dúró pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá Ayọ̀ Adébánjọ, àwọn bàbá tó ti jẹ́ tọ̀ìtọ̀ì. Immediately bàbá yẹn náà lóòótọ́ wọ́n lè lówó tiwọn náà, bọ̀ kò sọ́gbọ́n ẹ̀. Ìjọba kan á máa fún wọn ní kankan lẹ́yìn. Ṣèbí Yorùbá ní gbogbo wa náà. Ṣẹ́yìn náà fẹ́mi náà ní kankan lẹ́yìn. Bí Koiki ìwọ náà máa jẹ́ kó gbọ́, ìwọ náà gbà kankan bẹ́yìn. Àṣàrí iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe ní Yorùbá nation. So àwọn tíyàn bá jẹ́ forefront, ara àgbádùn tíyàn máa gbádùn, but iṣẹ́ là ń ṣe. Àwọn bàbá yẹn wá jókòó lórí restructure. So ẹ fẹ́ kémi náà jókòó títí lórí Yorùbá nation, ká má ráyè lọ, kí lè má ní ẹ fún mi lówó, kí má lọ set up proper business. Torí roman tó sọ pé ẹ ṣe self determination là ń ṣe Yorùbá nation tó rojọ́ lẹ́rìí parapapa. Ẹ tó bá fẹ́ ṣe business, ẹ lọ ṣe business nínú Nàìjíríà. Easy nìyẹn nísìn. Ilé iṣẹ́ ìlànà Amẹ́ríkà ó náà fẹ́ gbé lọ Jẹ̀bú-Òde. Mo ní ẹ̀gbọ́n mi má gbé lọ Jẹ̀bú-Òde, kò sí security níbẹ̀ o. Wọ́n ní ṣe mo sure ẹ bá rí store tó ń control, ó show fídíò ẹ̀ fún mi ní pé a lè gbé business yẹn lọ sí Nàìjíríà, but kò sí security, kò sí ìdáàbòbò kankan, even in Lagos State. Ìyẹn kan ṣe àwọn sọ Koiki ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ò yé yín mọ́, kò yé òun mọ́. Ṣé self determination lẹ́ ń ṣe ni àbí Yorùbá nation? Ṣé a ti gba country náà? A ti gba country náà. À ń propagate pa fẹ́ gba country, òun ni àníyàn tá à ń gbé síwájú. Èmi ò wá bá yín nísìnyí bí àwọn bàbá Ayọ̀ Adébánjọ tó ti fi restructure, tó ti fi múbẹ̀, wọ́n ti fi jẹ gbẹ̀gìrì, wọ́n ti fi jẹ wédú. Àwa jókòó lórí restructure. Èyí tí ẹ kí gbogbo wa nísìnyí ká wá pull gbogbo string wa together, ká push ẹ̀, ká fà wálẹ̀, ká sọ pé a ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ̀. Mo sọ fún bàbá yẹn, mo ní ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe press conference kẹ́ sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé Yorùbá country la fẹ́. Wọ́n ní náà àwọn àti bàbá Buhari làwọn jọ ṣe. Ṣé ìyẹn lèmi máa gbé dání sọ́wọ́? Mo délé bàbá yẹn ní Jẹ̀bú Igbó pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho Òòṣà, ó dàbí olówó kan láàrin olóṣì. Ìyẹn lè fẹ́ ká máa ṣe. Ẹ lọ sí White House tí Glo kọ́, olówó kan láàrin olóṣì ni, kò tẹ̀ fún wọn ní free wifi ládùúgbò ẹ̀, àfi tó bá ti update ẹ̀ nísìn. Glo tẹ̀ ń rí yẹn, Mike Adenuga, àwọn olówó jàǹgàrà, olówó tó ṣàánú ọmọ Yorùbá. Ṣé olówó làwọn yẹn? Ṣé olówó ni àwọn yẹn? táwọn yẹn bá ń ṣe bí Ìgbòho ṣe ṣe ni a máa rí difference. Not even a free 30-minute internet kó fún wọn ládùúgbò ẹ̀. Very beautiful house olówó kan láàrin olóṣì. àmọ́ ní Mike Adenuga lọ bàbá Mike Adenuga lọ lẹ́yìn irú Christmas ní sáà ní kọ́ pẹran fún wọn lónìí kọ́ pẹran kọ́ sí rẹ̀ sí. Kò sí títì kò sọ́nà kò sí security. So how are you going to get essential services? Kí ló ń pè ní essential services? Òun lára audio tá gbọ́ láti brother wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Ṣé ká tó play kẹ́ tó gbọ́? Kára yín bù máa ṣọ. Ìbóhùn tẹ̀lé owó láti fi tọ́jú ọmọ ẹ̀ ni. And we come out and we are telling our people that, you know, ṣé ẹ tún máa lọ dìbò tó bá di 2027? Ṣé ẹ tún fẹ́ lọ dìbò? Ẹ ń jẹ́ kí àwọn Amẹ́ríkà máa sọ fún yín pé PVC yìí ló máa fún yín ní hope. PVC òṣìwò ẹ wá sọ di Amẹ́ríkà. Amẹ́ríkà gan sẹ̀ mọ́ ń dọ́gbọ́n sí. Gbogbo election tó ṣe ní yíyẹ kan wọ́n náà rí gidi kan láwọn state kan ní California easily confirming. Ìwọ́ṣẹ́ wa ń sọ pé election tó jẹ́ pé ti Nàìjíríà UK ti kọ́kọ́ bá wọn rí ìgẹ̀ ní 1959 ó jẹ́ kó ní stability. Peter Pan kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹja rẹ̀ òun náà ní Koiki kò ní sọ ẹ kò ní rẹ̀ kó iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Èyí tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń kọrí jọ náà ni ìgbà tí máa náà bá sún ẹ̀pá kúnlẹ̀ bèkà ó dẹ̀ máa fún mi lówó tí bá máa ṣe program máa yàtà jíǹde mi bí o ti bá lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ni wọ́n ṣàṣànwó fún mi. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ náà fún wa bọ̀kíyàn kan wá nìyẹn wọ́n fi Yorùbá nation opportunist ni wọ́n àti play ọdún yẹn kọjá yìí tẹ́ bá ṣẹ̀ dé bí ẹ máa rìn wọ́n ìsẹ́yìn ni. Gbogbo yẹn ẹ̀gọ́ yẹn ṣọ́ra yín o tẹ́ bá mọ̀ tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ ẹ fi wá sílẹ̀. Bàbá kí tó yóò complain pé tó bá fẹ́ ṣe business ní Nàìjíríà tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe business Yorùbá nation ẹ lọ́ máa ṣe business yìí náà ta ló dé yìí lọ́wọ́ mú. Àwa ń campaign ni campaigner làwa. Nígbà tá a kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ibẹ̀ náà là ń jókòó sí a máa ra wọ́kítọ́kì ó ara a kò fáwọn èèyàn ṣé mo kó lọ sí alábàlọ́ta ni. Nínú ẹ̀ ó dá akẹ́lá tó máa ṣe o ẹja tó ṣe léyìí a ṣe. So what are we talking about? We are still making effort. Olóyè Ìgbòho ládùúgbò ẹ̀ street mẹ́wàá ló tọ́ná fún láti inú ilé tiẹ̀ gangan owó dẹ̀ ló fa gbogbo wáyà lọ síbẹ̀ kò rẹ̀ ń ṣàwọn bọ́ọ̀bù kéékèèké ńláńlá dé pé wà á máa rí lẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́ street mẹ́wàá ló wà connected sínú ilé chief. Ọlọ́run kó wá pẹ̀lú wa ṣé ká gbé wálẹ̀ fi ṣe 3 hours gbẹ́jẹ́ ká ka the last part ká gbé wálẹ̀ kí àtàwọn lọ́nà ká lè lọ sùn padà. Mr. Jimoni, very scary my brother. Nigeria is no man land, anything can happen. Mo kí n bàbá Gani Ogun ṣe yẹ ká gbé wálẹ̀ ká já wálẹ̀ kò sí bá ṣe fẹ́ parí program kan níjọ́ kan ìyẹn làwa ò ṣe ní máa sọ program mi jù pé self-determination campaigning towards the right to a country kò ń ṣe pé àti gba country àwa ń ṣe sẹ́yìn because ẹni kò àti mọ́dù gbogbo ẹ̀ up kí ni meaning self-determination kí ni meaning Yorùbá nation Yorùbá nation ní tá à ń fẹ́ àìrètí débẹ̀ we are still campaigning to get there through the right to self-determination which is a cardinal principle in the modern international law. Òfin àgbáyé aláwọn tí mò ń ṣe wọ́n lè má like ẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà problem ti yín nìyẹn òfin àgbáyé aláwẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ wà under the United Nations resolution. Àti ní kọ́ pè wọlé ààrẹ ní tó pè wọlé so àti ṣe call láti almost half an hour ago so we open the phone line but nobody called in so we have to start winding down. We have opened the phone line. Why is self-determination important? Question táwọn èèyàn kàn ń béèrè lílé nísìnyàn lórí because the reason why we talked about it tonight is based on an audio. Aziz ti ń béèrè kankan ọmọkàn wọn jẹ wá dẹ́sẹ̀ ń sọ fún òfin fún yàn lówó ìyẹn gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó tètè gbowó yẹn lọ. Àpò Amẹ́ríkà dẹ̀ ló ń wà má máa lọ sí ibi tó ti máa lọ ra bọ́gà àbí kankan so tí ní ju kankan wá. So kí ni important is self-determination? Ẹ̀yà kankan sẹ́ndì kófì mi sí Aziz kó bá mi ṣètò kan tiẹ̀ mo jẹ́ bó jẹ́ ara rẹ̀ kò ní tán bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ kan sí wọ́n ní Simon Ekpa ló fẹ́ da Nàìjíríà rú. Some countries encouraging Simon Ekpa to destabilize Nigeria. Punch newspaper. ẹ tí mọ̀ kankan ẹkún lẹ̀ ń sùn. Peter Pan kí lè sọ ẹni only we can free ourselves, not the prayer, not politics, but the share with for the generation to make the ultimate sacrifice. Gbogbo wa lájọ máa make sacrifice. But Koiki wọ́n wà lábroad wọ́n ló fẹ́ push mo sọ fún yín pé 72 hours àwa náà máa wà nísàlẹ̀. Mo kí ẹ Aluka Carol mọ̀pá yìí ti fẹ́ kí a ṣùgbà àti wà lórí ètò láti 3 hours ago, so ẹ̀ǹtẹ̀báṣẹ́ ń fẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa àkíyí. So mo fẹ́ ka bẹ̀yẹn padà ìbọn ní self determination tí mo ń kà lọ lẹ́ǹkan. Ó ní why is self determination important? Kí ni important nǹkan tá à ń ṣe yìí? Mo kí bàbá mi ṣeun. What is the important? Self determination empowers us to control our own lives because it allows us to appropriate decisions or choices offered through life. This support increasingly enable persons with different disability to go to school. We can change the phrase here. Live independently. We are not living independently in that shitty country called Nigeria today. So, function of self-determination. Self-determination is an idea that includes people choosing and setting their own goals. More reading my own type the noble goal and the noble path. Baba Keto Elosobe Eloka 35-page manual wọn ìdí tá a ṣe fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nigeria. It's all about the noble goal and the noble path. Ṣé noble path la wà nínú Nigeria àbí noble goals la wà nínú ẹ̀? Ní jẹ̀káṣẹ́ wọn sọ fún mi nísìnyí pé ẹ jẹ́ ká ka tiẹ̀ náà. Nigeria is a failing state. Atairu Jega calls for restructuring before 2027. He insisted that Nigeria will be considered a failed state. No, it's not considered. Ó ti wà considered ti pẹ́. Ìbílára iná lòun náà ti ń jẹ. Òun náà ṣáà lówó tó gbà nígbà tó ń ṣe INEC chairman. Kò lè tóun náà gbà ní. A lọ fẹ́ máa parọ́ fún. If it does not provide security, welfare, and the basic needs of a citizen. A former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has joined calls for the restructuring of the country before 2027, saying Nigeria is a failing state. He insisted that Nigeria will be considered a failed state if it does not provide for security, welfare, and the basic needs of the citizen. Mélòó ni wọ́n provide for anything? So, lọ́kàn yín, ẹ rò pé Tinubu máa fún yín ní security, ó máa fún yín ní welfare, and the basic needs of life. Maybe I should tell you where the inflation stands today in Nigeria. Ní October this year, inflation was 27.33%. Ní November, ó ti wọ 28.20%. Tó bá máa fi di January tó bá máa sọ di December, á ti máa lọ sí 29%. The inflation rate has actually increased by 0.87% point in November 2023. Kí ni yẹn mean fún èmi àti ìwọ because gbogbo percentage yìí Koiki kò yé mi, bá mi break it down sí layman. Owó rẹ̀ sì wá ṣeré jàre, mo ti rí signal easy dollar kò ní tán bẹ́ẹ̀, òkú tọ́jú àbúrò ẹ̀. Mo ní kó bá mi lọ bèrè paint rice ní Ìbàdàn, it was 5,000 naira. Wọ́n bèrè the same paint of rice, one paint, ó ti yé yẹn, àwọn tó wà lé ó ti yé wọn, kò ń ṣe bag, 6,500. Tó bá máa fi di week tàbí fẹ́ mú ìnísìn, tí bá tún ní kó lọ bèrè price yẹn, á tún to change. Ìtàn pè ní inflation yẹn, just the basic. Èyí tó ń ta ṣúgà, ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ra èèyàn mélòó ló ń fi ṣúgà mu gàrí mọ́ nísìn. Food inflation ìyẹn ló wá burú jù bí ṣe wà báyìí nísìn. Wọn ò pélé ti mọ́, so ikùn mi gan, àwọn aràn ikùn mi ti ń sọ fún mi pé ọmọ o máa fi nǹkan kan síkùn kó tó lọ sùn. That means màá wá wọnú kitchen mi, kí ni mo lè jẹ kó tẹ̀ tó dé kó máa ṣe jollof rice yẹn tán àbí puff puff tá a máa dín láàárọ̀ àbọ̀rọ̀ mi yé nísìn. Kí ló dé tó ń jẹ ń wọ́n nílẹ̀ Yorùbá? Àlùkà mo mọ̀ bó ṣe wà lórí program bó ti sá lọ, tó bá wà bá nǹkan fáàmì oko tó ní Ìlọrin ní Kwara nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ movement ló lose gbogbo ẹ̀. látara pé one thing or the other. Èkó ló ń gbé but ó ní farm tó tóbi ní Òkè Ọya lọ́hùn. Inú movement ló ti ṣàdánù ẹ̀ kọ́lọ́májà ṣe pàdánù nǹkan bẹ̀kọ́ nígbà tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ irú wọn nígbà tá join wa tí wọ́n dẹ̀ pé àwọn iṣẹ́ kan wà tó ń ṣe tí wọ́n síbi tí wọ́n sàn kò mójútó kó yẹn àwọn tó ní kó bá wọn mójútó ọmọ ọ̀pá gbogbo ẹ̀rẹ́ ni gbogbo nǹkan tó gbìn síbẹ̀ pátá àwọn ọ̀tẹ̀ rẹ̀ Fúlàní ọ̀tẹ̀ wá disturb wọn bọ̀ gbogbo kó tó ṣe pátá ẹ mọ̀ pé ó yẹn kẹ̀lẹ́lẹ́ la máa fi ń raise owó bẹ̀kọ́ ti pump owó sínú ẹ̀ kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe mechanized farming wọ́n máa kọ́ ebè wọ́n máa ṣe this àwọn náà máa gba àwọn èèyàn sọtọ́ bá ti gbá gbogbo èrè oko yẹn wàá lọ ta ibẹ̀ làwọn náà máa ti rí owó wọn padà wàá san gbèsè lóhùn tó gbà àwọn tó ní kọ́ bá wọn manage ọjà gbogbo ẹ̀tàn èèyàn kan ṣe wọn sọ pé ká ṣe Yorùbá nation kí ó bá yẹ pé business la fi máa ṣe lọ sí Amẹ́ríkà ta ló ní kẹ́ má ṣe ní tó bá wọn ní kẹ́ ṣe business lọ ìlú tó gbádùn ìlú tó ní system kí ló dé tí food inflation as at November wọ́n ní accelerate kí ló mean by that nígbà míì wọ́n máa wọnú mọ́tò ní ọmọ driver sáré díẹ̀ náà má lọ jáàmù wa o food inflation ní Nàìjíríà ó ti accelerate to 32.84%. Bàbá mi Táíwò sọ pé one bag of short grain rice is 49,000 naira while the long grain rice is 59,000 naira as at yesterday. Kò tẹ́ ká máa ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ sí ń sọ̀rọ̀ báàgì àní mo ní kọ́ lọ bá mi ná péǹtì lásán péǹtì ọ̀dà èèyàn mélòó ló ń ra báàgì rice olówó ló ra báàgì rice nígbà tẹ́ bá ní kọ́ ra báàgì rice 59,000 ṣé ẹ̀ tún ní fún wọn lówó ọbẹ̀ oko tálùkà lose nínú movement ní 3 years ago kò ń ṣe kékeré because òun ò ráyè lọ mójútó mọ́ níbi pé a ti ń ṣe movement lọ so ẹ má máa sọ̀rọ̀ káwọn tó wà nílé wọ́n níṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe náà wọ́n níṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe Èkó ló ń gbé lóòótọ́ but ó ń lọ lé gbogbo ìgbà ló ń lọ Ìlọrin ẹ̀dá nǹkan tó bá ti kọ́ ibẹ̀ yẹn tó kó ti ń lọ àwọn máa padà àwọn kan ló máa bá wọn monitor ẹ̀ but within pé movement yẹn ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí busy ní 3 years ago kò ráyè lọ́lé frequently nígbà tó máa fi lọ́lé báyìí gbogbo èrè oko yẹn pátá kò rẹ́yọ kan mú jáde bẹ́ẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ níyàwó lọ́mọ. So sometimes when taba fi power tawa ní diaspora àwọn tó wà nílé wọn lazy they are not lazy it's just that things have become very uncomfortable because of intijegan sọ pé Nigeria ò lè provide the security kò lè provide the welfare kò dẹ̀ lè provide the basic needs of the people. Mo tún fẹ́ dìde mo fẹ́ nọ́ọ̀sẹ̀ ni mo tún fẹ́ play fẹ́yìn tẹ̀sẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa because ẹja gbọ́n tí brother mi ti bá dé mo lè ibi tí bá gbọ́ dé náà la máa stop ẹ̀ máa kọ́ máa ṣe program náà again ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí arákùnrin send sí mi that one of the paints is àní ní Èkìtì lánàá 6,500 lọ́ra fún mi paint rice paint bucket mo mi kékeré nígbà tó bá ní kó ra báàgì rice ò ní sún wọn lówó ata ò ní fún wọn lówó epo nígbà tó dẹ̀ ń ṣe rice nìkan nìyẹn máa jẹ mo padà bọ̀ lẹ́ǹkan sí i.
ẹ kọ́ lẹ́sà ẹ kú iṣẹ́ yẹn this is 10:23 p.m. alẹ́ mo ṣe ń wọlé láti bí around 4 o'clock. I want to share my experience with you, sir. Lenny, come pay baby me. That's 1 and 8 months old. 1 year and 8 months old. Office mo wà nígbà tí mo ṣàrí pé ara ń fún mi mo kàn rí pé mo wá wo lọ sí ṣọ́ọ̀bù ìyàwó mi wá rí pé kò sílẹ̀ mo wá wò sàlẹ̀ mo ṣàrí pé wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ ẹ̀sìn sàlẹ̀ sọ́sọ́kọ̀ wọ́n á gba ọmọ mi lélẹ́yìn but bàtà tó máa fi débẹ̀ bàtà tó máa fi débẹ̀ ṣá ó sì lajú ó dákú àwọn Yorùbá sọ pé gìrì wọ́n sọ pé gìrì ní kíní yẹn so mo ṣàní pé àwọn gbé lọ sí center àjọ ìmúfúnra mi wà lọ center yẹn mo ní kí wọ́n ṣe test fún pé mo fẹ́ mọ nǹkan tó ṣe àṣì test ìyẹn center yẹn that is the local government Olúyọ̀lé local government ibẹ̀ gangan local government wà ó wọ́n ṣe test kì í ṣe proper test o just àwọn test tó máa gba ẹ̀jẹ̀ láti fíńgà ẹ̀ kékeré sí nǹkan wọ́n ní kò sí malaria lára ẹ̀ so mo ní kọ́ máa fún lábẹ́rẹ́ torí gree pé oògùn ni wọ́n kọ oògùn yẹn wọ́n lọ rà so wọ́n á pe moxim láti Èkìtì pé ọmọ ẹ̀ ti dákú tó lé ní o pé ara ẹ̀ gbóná gan wọ́n á ní kí lọ wá nǹkan kan nǹkan yẹn mo yẹ wá tó mo wá ní búkàkiri ní ìjẹ́ rí ẹ̀ẹ̀kan péré mo rí ewé aparun àwọn kan méjì tó kù wọ́n wá mi rí ibẹ̀ mo wà sọ́yìn tó pè ń pé oye tún ṣe bí oye tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ oye tún ṣe o táìmù yẹn wọ́n ti lọ sí bíi 5 wọ́n á ní kó máa gbé lọ sí ìgboro that place mi kàn lè mọye kìlómítà ẹni bí sọ at least èèyàn ṣàrìnrìn bíi 1 hour 30 minutes or 2 hours torí ó dọ̀pọ̀ wà lọ́nà everything so ó jìnnà gan sí Mọ̀lété ìyẹn Mọ̀lété ń bàdàn ni ọ mo ń gbọ́ ní kó gbéyà sí health center ti state government mo padà pé ó ní health center yìí pé wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n ti close ok mo ní kó máa gbé lọ private yẹn ibẹ̀ náà ló bí mo sí ń gbà kan but by the time máa fi débẹ̀ wọ́n lọ ṣe test yẹn ni I expect kó jáde ní ọmọ yẹn tún ṣe kíní yẹn wọn ni wọ́n lọ sí di tó jẹ́ major build wọn pé mo lọ bá wọn pé where is doctor wọn ni pé doctor wọ́n kò sí doctor kó tó wọ bíìsì pé kíní kan mo fẹ́ rí doctor àwọn tó kọ doctor wọ́n ní pé àwọn tó wà mẹ́rin náà máa tẹ́lẹ̀ sí mo nílò pé mo fẹ́ rí doctor gangan so títí mi ṣáà rí doctor mo ṣáà ní doctor ti prescribe pé wọn máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tó máa ṣe before kí tó dé nígbà tó gbọ́ mi wá mo ní kó máa gbé lọ pé mò ń bọ̀ wá bá so mo á ní òkè nígbà tí wọ́n ṣe kíyàn wọ́n ti jẹ́ kí ìsọ̀tì ẹ̀ kú dẹ́kun jáde wọ́n ṣáà abẹ́rẹ́ wọn fún lábẹ́rẹ́ direct wọ́n bí drip wọ́n fún ní àwọn injection kan through drip so láti stop kíní yẹn aṣáàfi kíní sẹ́nu ẹ̀ kó wọ́n torí kó má bàa tutù àbí kó má bàa sọ́yìn kó wọ́n ṣáà di ọwọ́ ẹ̀ mú so mo jẹ́sẹ̀ mú so gbàtà rẹ̀ wá balẹ̀ díẹ̀ wọ́n á ní pé yẹ̀sì owó wa o owó test tó ń ṣe fún ìyàwó mi jẹ kọ́kọ́ mú yẹn lẹ̀ so wọ́n ní èlò wà ní wọ́n ní wọ́n máa refer ẹ̀ wọ́n máa àbí wọ́n yẹn máa ń sọ́jà rẹ̀ àsìkò tó máa stay hospital pé because wọ́n fún drip wọ́n fún ní kínní pé doctor ní pé kò lè lọlé pé because wọ́n máa tìtẹ̀ mọ́jú ni pé so pé wọ́n máa admit ẹ̀ so wọ́n á ní òkè pé owó mi tí mo máa san is 34,000 mo ní 34,000 kí ló ń ṣe fún pé nítorí ibi tó fẹ́ sùn àbí bẹ́ẹ̀dì tẹ́ máa fún ní 34,000 wọ́n ní òye ẹ̀ nìyẹn pé ókè mo níwẹ̀ a lè gbé lọ lé ọ̀dọ̀ wá jìnnà torí mo kọ́kọ́ àwọn àbúrò pé there is another place tó mọ̀ tí mo lè gbọ́mọ ẹ lọ wọ́n á ní ilẹ̀ ti ṣú wọ́n ní òkè tí dọ́tọ̀ bá tẹ̀ dé àwọn dọ́tọ̀ tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ń sà àwọn dọ́tọ̀ láti usage ni o torí ìgbà tí mo tọ́ tó bí mo sí mẹ́mọ́ fi ní gbogbo àṣírí yẹn àwọn usage something ló ní hospital wọn yẹn so wọ́n á mú mi dé room tí ọmọ yẹn máa sùn mo mo bá ọmọ olùkókò tó yẹ bí ń bẹ̀ sí point kan mo fẹ́ dùn bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan nìyẹn tó yẹ máa náà kí ni mo bá ọmọ olùkókò kan bẹ̀ ọmọ tí mo bá ń bẹ̀ wọ́n ṣẹ̀ bí ọmọ yẹn wọ́n fi net bọ́ so wọn á wo ibi tí mo ní òkè bẹ́ẹ̀dì tí ọmọ yìí dà mo á rí bẹ́ẹ̀dì ọmọ kékeré náà ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀ wọn á pa ibo ni ìyá ẹ̀ fẹ́ sùn aláboyún nǹkan bó ló fẹ́ sùn kọ́ gbogbo ara ògiri kún fẹ́ jẹ àti báyà mosquito báyà ìdun ni ògbó bọ́ ẹgbẹ́ wọn níbẹ̀ náà màṣá ìyàwó ọmọ mi lè lo kò lè sùn sí ìbàyí rárá pé kí nǹkan tó máa sọ 34,000 naira sí lélẹ̀ ṣé tó máa fẹ́ sùn lélẹ̀ so mo pa àtisà lọ bá àwọn nọ́ọ̀sì ẹ pé you ask me to pay 34,000 naira pé ṣé kò possible kan treat ọmọ yẹn I want to see doctor pé kan treat ọmọ yẹn so that kí n gbọ́mọ yẹn lọ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ sùn wọ́n á ní pé wọ́n ò lè gbé lọlé òpé wọ́n ò lè gbé lọlé because of that condition pé because kékeré yẹn bá ti wo orí ẹ̀ pé kò dáa so màá ní òkè wọn ò ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì ní wọ́n ní wọn ò ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì báwo ni hospital ṣe ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ wo gbogbo everything mo ní báwo ni hospital ṣe ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì tí wọ́n á lọ sí ìwé ṣe wá ní building yẹn ibi ní wọn tó yẹ kọ́ yẹn á tó bí 3 floor 4 floor second floor ní lọ́nìkà stage wọn lókè wọn ní private room wà sáà ọkọ̀ dùn gbé mistake tí mo ṣe gbogbo ara mo ṣe ń gbà ìwòjẹ́ ní kámẹ́rà àwọn private room yẹn táyé private room yẹn wọn ní mọ̀kẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sheet everything kan ìyẹn náà àwọn mo ní àwọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan mo ní pé private room tẹ́tí mú wa lọ léèsì báyìí mo ṣẹ̀ wá sí léèsì ni mo ṣẹ̀ dé léèsì ni tí mo ń pè pé alpha àwọn ní dọ́tò tó wọ̀ bọ́tọ̀ pé tọ́lẹ̀tì bẹ̀rẹ̀ rùn pé dọ́tò yẹn jáde pé wọ́n go àlọ́sán kan refer ẹ̀ sáà that place so ibi tí wọ́n refer sí náà débẹ̀ ni oníwòsàn àfọ gbogbo tọ́lẹ̀tì yẹn for everything òun wá tì pa so wọ́n ní pé ní special another private kid mo máa tó yẹ normal stay sí yẹn pé màá sọ another 10,000 mọ́wọ́ yẹn á jẹ́ 44,000 naira orí yẹn láṣà wà táṣà fà títí wẹ́ wọ́n á jókòó wọn ní pé ìwọ lọ́hùn tẹ́lẹ̀ mi wọ́n kọ́ wò pé tó yẹ tó ń bá ṣe pé wọ́n ní àtẹ́ǹdìsí o pé kí n san half payment kí n ṣàṣàn kí n deposit ok 10,000 wà bí 9,000 wà lọ́wọ́ mi mo wọkọ̀ débẹ̀ ó kù 8,000 mo kó 8,000 yẹn lẹ̀ mo tún wá wọnú àkáǹtì mi 90,000 kọ́ mo tún kó lẹ̀ ó jẹ́ 27,000 mo máa ń tún àti di ọ̀la kọ́ yàrá mi treat ọmọ yẹn kàrẹ̀ balẹ̀ mo wá pé wọ́n mi wọ́n náà ti bá mi wá gbogbo àwọn àgbo ilẹ̀ tútù àgbo grey everything wọ́n ló bá mi ṣe wọ́n á fi rán láti ṣe látẹ̀kìtì kí wọ́n á gbà lọ́la ṣe rí mo dẹ̀ jáde mo dẹ̀ wo àyíká mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ máa sọkún kò sí nǹkan tó pa mí lẹ́kùn ju pé ṣé ayé ni a wá ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí pé ṣé ayé la wá ẹ̀ pé this is not life pé this is not life ibi tí mo ti wá kìlómítà yẹn á tó bí 200 and more than 200 kilometre síbi tí mo wá pé ibi tí no government wà pé kò sí standard hospital rẹ̀ tí èèyàn lè gbọ́mọ lọ nǹkan tó yá ti ìgbìlọ̀ ìgbò ní pé tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ lóru nǹkan bọ́lá fẹ́ gbéyà sí so wọ́n á ní pé irú ayé òun la wá ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pé ìyà ń jẹ wá o òbẹ̀ tí wọ́n á ronú sí so many things mo tún wá ronú sí pé nígbà tí a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé ká gbòmìnira people don't know let's say I didn't have anything bóyá láti àárọ̀ náà iṣẹ́ mo ṣe ń ṣiṣẹ́ kan náà mo ṣiṣẹ́ mo fi rí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn gẹ́gà tí màá rí kankan drop ṣé they will not wọn ní attend sọmọ yẹn káwọn many people sọ pé they cannot avoid 1,000 naira ẹ̀wọ̀n ìyàwó tó ń kú pa ní èdè nítorí pé they can't avoid money láti take care ara wọn. mo dẹ̀ ń sọkún lálẹ́ pé àwọn ọmọ tàbí mo dẹ̀ ń in fact mo dẹ̀ torí mo lọ fẹ́ ra tíì tó máa mu gbogbo mọ̀lẹ́tẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ tíì yẹn mo ní mo lọ fẹ́ rún gbogbo náà ọ̀dọ̀ wá jìnà sweet to kìí sweet tó yẹ pé èèyàn lè wo èèyàn lè ro gbígbóná báyà kọ́ wọ̀ mú gbígbóná kan ṣe anything nothing like that. Wọ́n á bẹ̀ sí rìn káàkiri ìgbà tí mi rẹ̀ anything wọ́n á lọ ra Hollandia yogurt coke àti biscuit.
àti gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan mo kàn fẹ́ ká tọ̀ tó gbọ́ nígbà tí mo fi dìde ni ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá ṣẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tẹ bá rí wáìnì just few more minutes náà lóko tó máa fi tán anyway but I want to move swiftly because àti náà máa parí program yẹn ní 5 but àtúntò wọ 5:30 báyìí but àní ṣe more than 30 minutes if anything anyhow this program ends at 6 so that kébì náà lè padà sí bed kan lè tó lọ fi ara sílẹ̀ díẹ̀ tó dáa tó máa fẹ́ wá ní Sunday broadcast later lágbára lọ mo kí àmì lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tí ẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ṣẹ́gun ọ̀nà ẹ ṣé gan ni mo rí ọwọ́ yín ẹ kú gbogbo gbà ẹ kú tọ́jú platform wa. Some countries encouraging Simon Ekpa to destabilize Nigeria. Ṣé ìlú kan ló máa encourage Simon Ekpa àti pé Àtàrí Jẹ̀gá sọ pé Nigeria fúnra rẹ̀ tẹ́ bá restructure ẹ̀ ó ti ń di failed state o. He insisted that Nigeria will be considered a failed state if it does not provide for security, welfare, and the basic needs of its citizens. Àtàrí Jẹ̀gá affirmed his position on the state of the country's political economy while delivering a lecture safeguarding Nigeria future. Safeguarding Nigeria future. Can we safeguard the Nigerian future? About this in the comment section. Is it possible for us to safeguard a nation that does not speak the same language, have different ideology, have different reasons why we are saying that we cannot be linked with that nation anymore because that nation stole our real identity? But Jega is saying that we need to safeguard Nigeria future. How many people wants to safeguard the future of Nigeria? I put in the comment section and let us read from you. How many of you still want to believe that 2027 election is the solution to our current state of things in the country? Many say that election was the right way. They went for that election. You allow these corrupt politicians to deceive you, the ones that have taken away power from the military and they become so powerful in wealth. They've stolen the wealth of every one of us to become powerful that even if you speak against them, they will run higher killer and they will kill you. And I'm talking about every single one of these politicians. They will intimidate you. Babami Adeyemi, Olayemi, there is no one that can safeguard Nigeria, but Àtàrí Jẹ̀gá say it is our all collective effort that will safeguard the future of Nigeria, prioritizing the citizens' welfare, the security amidst challenges, and the maiden convocation of the Bauchi State University. I don't believe Nigeria is a failed state, but we must realize that Nigeria is failing state, and if we put it in jeopardy and don't safeguard it, then the worst can happen. Everybody knows Jega is a intelligent man, but he's still speaking in parables. He's not speaking like Koikimedia. He's not Mukiyawa Taiwo Kike Eshegoni, and it was good speaking with you again yesterday. So most of them, they speak in parables. Just like your church and your mosque. They're not speaking the kind of language to say, this country is dead. Everybody is still speaking in parables. But what will make you and me to continue to voice out is, I'm just mixing the platform from one side to the other. So I'm going to take us back to food inflation in 2023. Osarisi 32.84%. Let's read this. I am not the one making this up. This is coming from the National Bureau of Statistics in that contraction you call Nigeria. Clement, say back to back. God bless you, sir. Now, so we they do amo. Now back to back. When people they sleep, me I stay there awake. When they are awake, me I they sleep. Thank you so much, Mr. Clement. Oh hey Biafra. Military say some countries encouraging Simon Ekpa to destabilize Nigeria. We're coming there in a minute. According to the Bureau of the National Statistics says that the November 2023 headline inflation rate showed that there was an increase of 0.87 percentage point in the November 2023 headline inflation compared to October. On a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 6.73 percent point higher compared to the rate recorded in November, which is now 21.46%. On a month-to-month basis, the headline inflation rate in November 2023 was 2.09 percentage, which was 0.35% higher than the rate recorded in October 2023, which is 1.73. This means that in November 2023, this year, the rate of increase in the average price level is more than the rate of increase average price level in October. Every one of them knew Nigeria is a failed country, but they're afraid of speaking the truth to the power to be. According to the report, the food inflation rate in October 2023 accelerated to about 32.84%. Babawa Israel, our Yoruba nation is absolutely the only answer. People, Yoruba people are still trying to play politics instead of us to come out and say the way it is that this country is completely gone. But because Bola Tinubu is there, they have friends there now. They have somebody that looks like them. Everybody wants to go to Abuja and be wearing, agbada, in Yatiwaloa Nebe. El Rufai is preparing for 2031, if you don't know. And that is if there's going to be 2031. Because the guy is now saying that there's likely that 2027 is not even sure based on the current state of things right now. Now, food inflation. The rise in food inflation on a year-to-year basis was caused by the increase in the price of bread and the cereals, oil and fat, potatoes, yam, and other tubers, fish, fruit, meat, vegetables, coffee, tea, cocoa. On a month basis, the food inflation rate in November 2023 was 2.42%. Of these was 0.51% higher compared to the rate recorded in October 2023. Food prices have been steadily increasing in Nigeria in the recent years, and the situation worsened due to the impact of the government policy, including the removal of fuel subsidy. We are all now in one chance. So that is on that one. Now let's come back one more time before we start winding down. We talk about self-determination. Why is it self-determination, and what does it mean? So we've been looking at different points of self-determination. So somebody asks again, what does self-determination mean? Kilo mean gongon. Koiki, every day they talk about self-determination. What does it mean? I just want to turn off the heater again because it's been on and it's getting a little bit too hot for my head. I'm coming back on my seat in a few minutes.
It's other bonus be 1,000 something. Change to us no miles of at daily because in what I finish it, sending killing it, we would only prayer, kill it to a better, not charge you, but movie jet off to follow. So, we should have ordered that around you. All of the throughout the work, I feel about the shoe. And motor, my back on Mari to money.
So we leave that, my brother, for now. What does self-determination mean? Because there was another audio that we played. If you're joining us, you will have to go back about an hour away into the program. Tima arákùnrin láti America, Koiki, ṣé Yorùbá nation lẹ́ ń ṣe ní àbí self-determination? You know, it looks like you've modeled everything. No, we haven't modeled anything together. We are fighting for Yoruba nation that we don't have yet. There's no word that says that there's a Yoruba nation as a country. It used to be before, until the fraudulent amalgamation, which we are now trying to de-amalgamate, and it's going to happen. Koiki, you are all joking. It's going to happen. Election will not solve the problem. Military will not solve the problem. All this one way that they cry, they are aired out now. Simon Ekpa is encouraged by some country to destabilize Nigeria. You are wasting your time. According to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, another Fulani bastard, said on Friday that the military was gaining nothing from the fight against insecurity in many parts of the country. Let them deal with the Boko Haram like El Rufai that brought those Boko Haram into Nigeria, and so many of them like that. Dele Alake said, and I quote, the illegal mining and the banditry happening in Nigeria is not by Simon Ekpa, it's by people known as powerful Nigerians. And it's again there, December 12th. Powerful Nigerians involved in illegal mining and terrorism. So why is this bastard, Chief of Defense Staff talking about Simon Ekpa? It should be asking Dele Alake, who are these businessmen? Who are these powerful people? The Minister of Solid and Mineral Resources, of Solid Mineral, Mr. Dele Alake, on Tuesday said some powerful Nigerians involved in illegal mining, they are the ones sponsoring banditry and terrorism in the country. So why is he talking about Simon Ekpa? According to him, the military daily loses troops in the ongoing fight against insecurity across the country, across the federation, adding that he has nightmares. Why are the troops losing? Mukiawa Boluwatife, good morning. And you say good morning, lecturer Koiki and everyone in the class. Because this is a lecture room. You take the one that you want, and you disperse the one that you don't want, you put it in the bin. But one thing we can all agree is that, just like Tairu Jaga is saying that the country is failed, I have been saying the same thing, because Babakitoye told us that that is the only option. Exit Nigeria. So, if Dele Alake has given us the hint, why is the military saying that they are losing military men every day? I don't want any military guy to die. But again, when somebody like Buratai stole the money that is meant to use to fix the problem that will dissolve the insecurity, they killed Tolu Parotile. Why was she killed? The first helicopter combat pilot in the history of Nigeria. Yes, she was killed in the base, military base, because she knew how to kill the terrorist. So some businessmen did not like that. And as long as there is banditry, there is terrorism, there will be instability in the country. And when there is instability, you cannot do anything. There will be cost of food that will be rising. There will be cost of things that will be rising. Cost of logistics that will be rising. And we are all in a big mess. We are 15 minutes away to the end of the program. So Musa spoke about how he's having nightmare. Oshimani nightmare topo. Because he needs to go and ask Dele Alake, who are these individuals, the powerful people that you talked about? Because Dele Alake says powerful Nigerians are the one involved in illegal mining. They are also the ones sponsoring banditry and terrorism in the country. TJ Babasokwe, my Yoruba people, all we need now is action in this bad element leadership. And we have talked about action, but I'm not going to be promoting that for now, because everybody knows that I have said it 3 years ago, and I'm not repeating my words anymore. We go through the M1, it will make things better. And though I'm meaning M1, in the comment section. That's all I'm going to say. That is going to be what will pull down the system. So the military is concerned about Simon Ekpa, But they are not concerned about what Dele Alake is saying, that àwọn tó ń fund the terrorism and banditry are powerful Nigerians. Who are these powerful Nigerians? I don't have their name as well. We can talk from now to thy kingdom come. It will just enlighten us. But if we do not add action to it, like TJ Baba says, we will be here talking just as Baba Adebanjo talk under Afenifere, and they fought each other there. There's two leadership, Fashion Roti. All these are old men that have done their time. And when I say they go off from any direction, but she feel low. Oh yes, Baba Kito must say that we are not going to go through certain drills. But Baba Kito himself knows very well that those are the drills that will end up this movement. But I don't expect him to come and tell you. But at least he has been bold enough to say that we should not remain Nigerians. Why these other ones that are 95, that Koto Gbese, Kibaba Adebanjo, Koto G, Koto Norma prepare won't lọ see any event. It has to be like 3 hours ahead because they are now in their old age. They are still in their old age. And at the end of the day, àwọn yẹn làwọn wá ń dúró dé. Oh, ẹ dúró dé Tinubu tó lè tó bó ṣe wà nísìn ọmọ olódò ọdẹ kò lè ṣe 4 hours interview non-stop bí Putin. Kò ń ṣe pé a fi ń yọ. Kò ní strength ẹ, kò ní capacity ẹ. Ẹ lọ wo interview tí Putin grant 4 hours, and questions were asked, they were all unscripted. Ṣé Tinubu lè ṣe? More than 12 million people wanted to call into the program. Only few ample of them got through to Putin. Questions were asked up to anything you can ask him. So when some of you are hoping that one day Tinubu will give you autonomy, it will restructure, it will give us regional government, you're all joking. If he's going to do that, he needs to act now. Not saying, calculate. Call on for let me Google. So Musa spoke during the maiden parley with journalists in Abuja on Friday. According to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa cautioned the citizens against demoralizing the troops from effectively discharging their constitutional duty with their action. Which constitutional duty? Mokiawa Grace Olushoto. Which constitutional duty? Because we know that the 1999 Constitution is a military diktat. So which one is it talking about? The one that they created to favor themselves. All these criminal bastards, calling themselves military men, like Buratai and the rest of them, that destroy the real military men that are ready to defend the territorial border of Nigeria. But we don't have weapons, we don't have this. Military vehicle is dying along the road. They are pushing, how can they be pushing armor tank? They turn that one to like downfall. Money that have been kept, to fund the military guys, they could not use it judiciary for them, and it's now telling me and you that we should encourage the military. Shouldn't I go encourage military the way not give well? Especially with the same military guys that put together the fraudulent 1999 Constitution that we are all using today. We are just calm down. He also went further. He alleged that some individuals and countries were sponsoring Simon Ekpa to destabilize the country. Ṣé orí ẹ̀ pé? Ṣé orí Christopher Musa be whatever? Ṣé orí ẹ̀ pé ṣá? I hope he knows what he's talking about. That some people and countries are the ones sponsoring Simon Ekpa to destabilize the country. Which country? We don't have a country. Which country is he talking about? The fake country that the British put together in 1914 amalgamation. The country that they gave us, and at the end of the day, they still control 50% of it from outside. The country that doesn't respect me as a Yoruba man. The country that has no value, even within African countries. So which country is he talking about? Simon Ekpa, the PM of the Biafra is doing exactly what needs to be done, which is called self-determination. And not just that alone. Let me remind you, as I go on my website, there are a couple of things that allow Simon Ekpa to do exactly what he's doing. And one of that is what they called Declaration on the Granting of Independent People or Colonial Countries, according to the General Resolution 1514, 14th of December 1960. The Biafra have the right for the campaign that they are doing. Also, under the human rights of the, also under the, according to the, 1 minute. According to the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, the Biafra have every right. United Nations Declaration on the right of the indigenous people. And it goes like this quickly. We won't be able to read everything tonight, but we'll come back again. Resolution was adopted by the General Assembly on the 13th of September 2007. United Nations Declaration on the right of the indigenous people. Biafrans are indigenous people. Eunice Uchechi Otodometa, I know your hands are so full as the Christmas is getting closer. And we are almost ending the program, but we appreciate you for joining us tonight. And I'm talking about our PM, Simon Ekpa, where that stupid chief of defense staff, the talk say there are some countries that are sponsoring. Simon Ekpa and the Biafra, under the United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People, the General Assembly, taking note of the recommendation of the Human Rights Council contained in its Resolution 1 to 2 of the 29th June 2006, by which the Council adopted the text of the United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People. So whatever Simon Ekpa is doing today, hate him or like him, it is under the United Nations Declaration on the Right of the Biafra, and they will use whatever means they can to pull out of Nigeria, and that is the civil disobedience. And if you want peace, you negotiate with the Biafrans. And it's just for those of you, Yorubas, that think that Simon Ekpa is not doing the needful. He's trying to destabilize Tinubu's government. They will pull down that government. If Yoruba people are not ready, they will pull down that government and they will force Tinubu into a conflict, and eventually they will go to Vienna or whatever. It's not going to happen in an African country. They will still have negotiation. Qatar will be ready to negotiate on behalf of Biafra and the federal government. Write this down. You think it's a joke. It was recalling its Resolution 61178 of 20th of December 2006, by which it decided to defer consideration of an action on the declaration to allow time for further consultation thereon, and also decide to conclude its consideration before the end of the 61st section of the General Assembly. Many Nigerians do not even know that there's something called United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People. You just wake up every day and listen to your biased news in that shit old country you call Nigeria. And you come and think that some of us are stupid as some of your crazy politicians that have made your life unbearable, that have put your life in a danger. And that danger is what we are trying to stop, and we need to stop it as quickly as possible. If not, death is just very close to many of you. Also, there's what I call the indigenous people and the United Nations human rights. So Simon Ekpa has a right to fight on behalf of those that cannot be fought. He has a right. And that right is what he's using from Finland. So if some of you think that they will take him and kidnap him from Finland, you are wasting your bloody hell time. Just a snip of this as well. The right of indigenous people have over the past 3 decades, 30 years, become an important component of international law. Crazy people. Mad people all over the place. You think that we are joking. So you want the federal government to continue to stample on our rights, when international law in the last 30 years have said that the right of the indigenous people have over the past 30 years become as important component of international law. We the people, international law. You think some of us are joking? We will pull down the last empire of the British government set up to destabilize our rights. As a result of the movement, it's called movement, and the movement will continue until you take it back. Like Showore says, Showore understands the game. He knows that revolution will be the last thing that will pull down the whole structure. Continue to allow all your bloody fool uncles that lives abroad to tell you that, oh, Nigeria will be good by Jesus Christ's name. Mad people all over the place. They live in a society where they're enjoying, and they'll tell you, oh, just be patient. It doesn't happen. Government go, government come. We're just 4 minutes before the end of the program. My name is Olami Koiki. This is Koikimedia, the right to self-determination campaigner. I'll take that again without, mixing words. The right of indigenous people have, over the past 3 decades, if you don't know 3 decades, it's called 30 years, become an important component of international law. That is what Amonepa is fighting for. That is what Babakito is asking for. That is what the Igbo is asking for. That is what the campaigners of the Yoruba Nation and the Biafra are talking about. And policy as a result of a movement driven by indigenous people. We are the one driving the movement with the people. You think that we are like your corrupt politician. Where is Ajimobi today? Where is Buruji Kashamu? They left you all in danger. Mad people all over the place. Let's go further. By the indigenous people, civil society, international mechanism, and the state at the domestic and regional international level. The United Nations human rights system, its mechanism, laws, policy have been at the heart, Igbaya, of this development, with the bodies such as the United Nations Working Group on Indigenous Population playing a groundbreaking role, which is a continue by the Human Rights Council and its mechanism. You've actually infringed the right of Nnamdi Kanu, and you think that the Biafra is going to do nothing. You will see what they will do. It will be very hot in the next few years. Continue to hold him there and think that you can throw the key into the ocean, and you think that the military say, oh, they are like barbarism. They are sponsoring someone Ekpa from outside. He thinks that it's before when they will be cooking lies to every one of us. No freedom, there will be no peace in Nigeria. And that is how we're going to end the program this morning. My name is Olami Koiki. Thank you all for joining. And if you're new to the platform, share the program. Good night to every one of you. Tẹ̀síwájú ẹ̀kọ́ yíyẹ àtẹ̀yìn ọmọ òdòdó wà. Pọ̀sí ipò ọ̀tọ̀ rẹ̀ ìwọ ní ìmọ̀lẹ̀ òkú adúláwọ̀. Àwa ní ìmọ̀lẹ̀ òkú adúláwọ̀. Mo kẹ́ my brother Olanipekun. àwa la máa pull the last oxygen, not the Afenifere. They failed. Good night.